Hello and welcome back to Blood and Ashes. This is episode 107, the start of our journey through book 11, Knife of Dreams, and in today's episode we'll be covering the significant prologue. I am your host Mo, and I'm joined once again by my possum-playing friends, Villy.
It is disco.
And Jody.
Yes. How's it, O's? How's it, everybody?
Who was playing possum? How did you get on that?
It's not quite playing possum, but Galad, when he's fighting Volder, like he fakes being slowed down and stuff, like he pretends to be hurt from all those cuts to the arms and legs.
Perhaps.
Yes, chicanery.
Red herringery.
Yeah, I don't have one. Sorry, guys.
All good. I know the three of us have spoken offline, because now for those who are following the podcast in live format and listening to every episode as we release them would know that it has been a pretty significant break since our last recording. And so I think all of us have read at least 12 chapters into Knife of Dreams already. I know, Vil, you were 13 when we last spoke. Joe, you're also around there-ish.
11.
I mean,
it's so rad.
How cool is it? Yes. The slog is dead. We've got like the slog behind us now. We've got all this fresh story ahead of us.
It's
what?
That mad sections with Tuan just kept on dragging and dragging, and there was no action, and there was
more of it than I expected. I mean, we're going a bit ahead of what we're covering today because we're only covering the prologue, but
it is so good.
If the listeners could see my slanty, suspicious eyes, they would know I wasn't buying a word of what Villy was saying.
Meanwhile, Villy's sending us messages going, "Hey guys, I think I kind of like the Seanchan now."
Yes, that's
it's like his favorite.
They're growing on me. Well, let's not say them as a collective. It's individuals' ways.
Suroth, particularly, is like
you love her.
She's
top
hot.
of the pile. Dude,
especially her affiliations. Yes,
that
Dark
shape
friend, Seanchan,
that head stubble.
That's Villy's thing. But yeah, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. It's just like it's so obviously exciting and fun, and good to like know that the end point of the slog is literally behind us, and we can now just look forward to more escalating radness.
The slog died with Renna, like with an arrow in the back, and comically rolled down into the river. That was a metaphor for the slog, I think, written into the books.
Absolutely. The prologue for this book, much like some of the prologues we've encountered recently, is very long. It is 91 pages, the longest one thus far. It's 11% of the entire book. So it's more than a tenth of the book is just the prologue. It is significant. But unlike some of the criticisms you guys have leveled at previous prologues, a lot of cool, exciting setup and full-blown action in this prologue, right? Like it's almost like RJ got the notes from the readers, like, okay, guys, sorry about Crossroads. Sorry, here we go.
I have criticism about the prologue in this book.
I am Jack's complete lack of
not
surprise.
long.
Yes,
it's
there
not
was
long
a distribution of chapters handed out. And I feel that I got the short straw, and Jody got the long straw, and he got to do the cool ones, and I
with all the Dark Friends.
Well, I like the Dark Friends, so I don't mind them.
Yeah.
But he got the sword fighting one, which was rad.
Yeah, because I complained
that
last
was
time.
a good one.
Yeah, so just really complain enough, and then your chapter
I
allocation.
can't keep up with your complaints. I'm gonna have to set up like a help desk with a ticketing system, and you guys can log your complaints, and I'll just assign tickets to myself, I guess, over time.
Should hire a virtual
Are you going to
assistant
be
to
like
deal
the
with
IT support team that sorts out my shit at work? Because
Yes.
it took them 7 days to install Teams on my computer.
That's probably their SLA, their service level agreement. That's how long, it's the max amount of time that ticket can be open. And on the last day, they'll do it. Just like every other IT support help desk.
Sons of bitches.
Sons of bitches. Okay. We've spoken a lot about all the radness that is to come. Villian's already sort of hinted at some gripes for some of the radness that is to come in this very episode. But before we can look ahead to all that radness, we should look back at our previous episodes of Radness in everyone's favorite segment called Callbacks. Joe, wake up. I'm about to educate all of us.
Goodbye.
This is where Jody tunes out and he comes back at the end of my recap. Okay, let's get some mundane drudgery out of the way first. I had contradicted myself in the previous episode talking about Moraine's dresses that she ordered. She had ordered 5 more riding dresses in the Kyrenian style from her dressmaker that would not be sent to the tower instead of the 4, like I said. Marion, who was the mistress of the novices, who also turned out to be Black Ajah and was in that big showdown. Like, I mean, it's hard now. We've all read a number of chapters into Knife of Dreams now. It's hard to remember New Spring, and that was only a couple of weeks ago. But she was 263 years old when she was killed by Moraine and divulged, and when she divulged all that information to Cadsuane. Laurel was 247 years old at that point, and Cadsuane was 274, so only 11 years older than Marion. So we were talking about like why Marion was so eager to just divulge this information. We were contemplating maybe like just the aura of this older legendary Aes Sedai in Cadsuane, but Cadsuane was only 11 years older than her, so it wasn't any of that.
No, it's because she's got trinkets.
So back to Vili's Terangriel theory, yes. We spoke about the battle in the Whitecloak War where Tam might have saved the king's life and thereby earned a Heronmark blade that was eventually bestowed upon him by the king of Ilion, and that was the Battle of Soramain. Under the command of Pedron Niall, the Whitecloaks managed to capture Matin Stepanios, who is later ransomed, and if not for the Ilionic companions, the army would have been routed. Right, so that's where the Tam component comes in. In an interview in 1994, at a Lord of Chaos signing, a person by the name of David Harden asked Robert Jordan, was Tam involved in the Whitecloak Ilion War mentioned by Pedron Niall in Lord of Chaos? And Robert Jordan said, that isn't something I'd given much consideration to. He probably was, since he was in the Ilion army then. RJ later says that the king of Ilion had given Tam his sword, so maybe after 1994 he had some more ideas of how to increase Tam's profile, likely for use in one of the other prequels he was planning. So like when that stuff was written, that wasn't canon just yet, but like it seems like RJ was sort of moving in that direction by mentioning the sword being handed over by the king of Ilion, and that's how it eventually makes its way to Rand. Vil, you were talking about the palace in Kandor in Chachin, the Ice Daishar Palace. It is located in the capital city of Chachin, obviously. I just reread this description of it because you were talking about how big it is. It is located on a cleared mountain top and is a small settlement in itself, consisting of a complex of buildings, domes, and towers. The palace rears more than 5,000 feet above the rest of the city below and offers stunning vistas of Chachin and the surrounding countryside. So it's like literally on top of a mountain in the middle of the city, like 5,000 feet above it. That just puts into context like falling from the walkway and that sort of thing. There was no hope for anyone in that final showdown in New Spring to survive any of that.
Oh yeah, 5,000 foot fall. Listen, what's 5,000 feet in metric common sense language?
Roughly 3 feet to a meter, so divided by 3.
Don't make me do maths. So it's like 1,500, 1,600
something. Yeah.
1,666
more than 1,000
recurring.
meters.
Okay, got it.
Kilometer
That makes more sense.
And a bit.
Lots. We were talking about Lan reciting poetry, and we were I think one of us said glibly that it was from the Great Hunt, but it's actually from the Eye of the World. When they reach Feldara at the end of the Eye of the World, before they go into the Blight to find the Green Man, that's when Lan is quoting poetry with, who was
Angelmar?
Lord Agelmar. Yeah.
Agelmar.
The line from Land About Bukama is that he could feel steel being unsheathed near him. So like, it's coming to the conclusion that it must have been someone that Bukama knew that killed him. Vil, you mentioned there were 3 deaths on the walkway at the end of New Spring, but there were 5 of them. There was Brees, Prince Brees, Derek, Izel, Marion, and Rain. It was a complete fucking bloodbath.
Yeah, but there's only 3 deaths that mattered.
Ooh.
Okay.
I wonder if they bricked
Strange.
up that walkway afterwards. Like, no more walkway.
This place is clearly haunted.
Yeah.
I made a big deal about Land's oath to Moiraine, but I couldn't remember what it was right at the end of the book, and it is, by my mother's name I will draw as you say draw, and sheathe as you say sheathe. By my mother's name I will come as you say come, and go as you say go. That is hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
Verin joined the Black Ajah in 929 New Era, 33 years before Moiraine was even born. So yes,
wow.
very much already Black Ajah in New Spring. Had been for decades. And then our last one is, when was Moiraine rescued from Sindhol? It is, like we thought, at the end of Towers of Midnight, book 13. So since you guys have read as far in this book as I have, a certain letter comes up early in this book, book 11, and the rescue only happens in book 13. So like there's still quite a while to go.
Damn it, Moritz.
Okay, that's enough from me. So let's hear from our listeners. And our first listener contribution comes from Cole, who sends in 2 messages, the first of which goes like this. Let me try to build a bridge over the Cadswain Gulf. It's not much of a bridge, but it has roots deep in the themes of Wheel of Time. I don't think it's a secret that Cadswain is symbolic of the entire White Tower or all Aes Sedai. She represents all of their strengths, but also all of their weaknesses. One of those weaknesses that afflicts Cadswain, the Aes Sedai, and by extension the political world of Wheel of Time, is a belief that the Aes Sedai have a right of supremacy. They believe that there should be law. And now, for a brief aside into the peaceful world of sex politics in the 20th century, they were not peaceful. RJ would have grown up in an era when masculine supremacy was an assured truth, and he witnessed the rise of feminism. There were many that believed that the world could only be rightly ruled by women, as men had done such a poor job of it. What RJ wrote was that world, and it has most of the same problems. Jordan's message then is that no sex has a divinely appointed authority to rule. Cadswain is a bitch because at the time that RJ would have been imagining the world into being in the 1980s, the idealized feminine leaders such as the boss bitch, supremely confident, no-nonsense, sometimes cruel to keep her male subordinates in line, prevent them from overstepping her and bypassing her authority. RJ's point is that being an asshole is not what makes a great leader, but it is easy to mistake assholery for leadership. As the story progresses and our characters begin to see past the lies they believe are true, Cadswain and Rand will learn how to use softer power that balances decisiveness with humility and recognition that good ideas can come from anywhere.
Disagree. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I agree that all sounds perfectly feasible and plausible. Nice insight there, Cole. Cole then sends in a second message that goes like this. I am busily chewing my way through the backlog of podcasts and have reached the 98th. At the very end, you are talking about Elaine using foul language, and I thought it might be fun to point out why she is doing this. Elaine wants to be a battlefield commander. Andor has always had queens, and it has always had armies, but the queen generally stays safely away from the actual battlefield. Elaine wants her soldiers to see and know the queen that they are fighting for. Because she is Elaine, she is being systematic in how she approaches command, including learning how to emulate the vernacular of the best bannerman and commander she knows. That's why you see her repeating choice swears by Matt and Uno. She's learning how to get the best out of her soldiers.
Okay.
Interesting point of view.
I'm always on board with foul language.
Same. As is evidenced by this podcast.
I never swear. I think it's grotesque.
If only there was some way to check some recorded evidence.
I've been very careful over the years to never be recorded using any foul language.
My response to Cole on that one is that I think that Elaine's primary role model for Battle Command would surely have been Gareth Bryan. And he certainly does not share Uno's vernacular stylings, right? She'd be pretty sheltered in Camen's palace as well, so I don't know how much she'd be exposed to other soldiers and their vulgar language, but Elaine is always displaying a tendency to break out of the storybook princess mold. Her drinking, her swearing, etc. are all acts of rebellion against the stereotype. I feel like her desire to be a green or a battle queen stems from that rebellion as another way to break free of that characterization, not necessarily the reason for it. So that's my read on it. You know, like, I don't think it's necessarily because she wants to be a battle commander that she's swearing. I think she wants to be a battle commander and she swears and she wants to take action and, you know, like take charge, that sort of stuff, to break from that mold that people would have, or the pedestal that people would have put her up on as the daughter heir, right? Like, you're the pretty blonde princess that is going to rule the nation, and she's trying to break all those molds.
Or, as we often know to be true, the easiest explanation. She's the youngest of the household with 2 older brothers, and she has to compete with them. So she makes up in all other ways by showing her recklessness and rudeness, foul mouth, getting with child before marriage, drinking on
Or
tables
climbing
and
trees
dancing.
and stuff, like when,
Yeah.
Gawain tells Rand early days in Eye of the World that she's always like saving birds and like, doing all kinds of stuff, breaking the rules, which is cool. That's why we love her. Thanks for that, Cole. Now it is time for Adam McKinnon's contribution, which goes like this. This is a follow-up, Jody, on Knowing an Allison on Prince Edward Island. Adam says, I do have an uncle named Allison who is a farmer, but the closest he's ever been to the University of Port Edward Island is the liquor store that used to be next door.
Okay. Not the same Allison.
Not the same Allison then. Okay. Well, the search continues. Cole wrote in, and this must be another message. I can't believe I've worked on these messages over the last couple of weeks, and I think this is another one from the same Cole. So Cole writes in with the following, saying, with a New Spring, I'm afraid I'm with Mo on this one. To date, I've never read New Spring, and I even normally skip discussion about it in podcasts. I've never felt I was missing out on anything. It is a credit to what you three do that I was willing to listen to your episodes about the book, and ignoring what is likely a lot of very pretty language, I feel vindicated for my choice not to read it. But I'm one of those strange fools that had to be told that the slog existed. I was like, fool? I mean, you're lucky to have not noticed it yourself. But he continues and says, Perrin chapters are about his forging his scattered people into a single army under his leadership, by the way. And I said, yes, it is that, certainly, for sure, about him growing as a leader, making hard choices, learning not to let his emotions drive his decisions, blah, blah, blah. He does a lot of growing in all of these chapters in the Fail chase. But that is it for listener contributions. Jody, here is your final test of stamina in... Previously on Blood and Ashes.
Let's do it.
Matt takes Tuon and Selusha fabric shopping in Durador, the prosperous salt town in Altara. He feels the dice tumbling in his head the whole time. He spots Aludra dealing with the salt merchant and wonders what she could be up to. He also notices Edicina and the Suldam shadowing her. As he looks around to see if he can spot the other Aes Sedai or Suldam, he loses Tuon and Selusha in the crowd, but successfully uses his luck to locate the shop they've gone into. He pressures Tuon into buying silks from this shop so they can GTFO. When they get back to the show, Julian tells Matt to come quick. Egwene has been injured. He finds her bleeding in Doman's arms after Rena apparently stabbed her in the back and ran off. Teslin arrives and heals Egwene, so she manages to tell Matt that Rena likely stabbed her because she was the only non-channeler that knows the Seanchan's dirty secret that Suldam can channel. The Red Arms show up and report that Rena has stolen a horse and has run off, but Vannon is following her. Matt tells Luca to pack up immediately and get the show moving, while he and the Red Arms set off after Rena and Vannon. They eventually catch up with Vannon, who tells them Rena is pressing the horse hard and is almost to a nearby Seanchan garrison. They pursue and eventually spot her on her exhausted horse as she is trying to crest the final ridge before reaching the garrison. Matt reluctantly gives the Red Arms the order to shoot her, and Hanan and Gordoran each hit her with a bow and crossbow respectively. Rena's body falls into the river and floats away, much to Matt's dismay. He swears never to kill another woman. When they get back to Durador, they find that Luca had not packed up anything, but is quite content with a warrant of protection signed by Tuon herself. Tuon points out to Matt that someone is specifically not mentioned as being under her protection. He also notices the cluster of rosebuds he gifted to her is pinned on her shoulder, and he bursts out laughing as he realizes he does not know Tuon at all. Back with the rebel Aes Sedai, Egwene has a procession of visits from other sisters. First, at her own tent, Nisau arrives with news that Kyron Stang has also been murdered with Saidin. Nisau, who's been looking into the murders, can't see a link between Anaya and Kyron, but we know they were besties with Cabriana, the dead Aes Sedai Halima claims to have worked for. Egwene moves to her study, where Theodrin arrives to request a meeting on behalf of Ramanda. Then Imara requests a meeting on behalf of Lelaine. Next in line is Swan, and they talk briefly about the lack of respect Theodrin is getting from the other sisters. Then it's Sheriam's turn to bring the message that Nicola has run away and has been gone for a couple days, her cousins covering her absence so they can be rid of her. Sheriam suggests to Egwene to show leniency to the novices involved, but Egwene doesn't bite. She will not show favoritism. Egwene asks Sheriam what the others think of the dream of a Seanchan attack on the White Tower, but apparently they are not concerned. After Sheriam leaves, Morel and Morven arrive, shortly followed by Mygan, who sends Swan off to get tea. Morven follows her, but Morel stays. It's a real revolving door here in Egwene's study. Rhaegan, the Shinaran soldier in the rebel army, then arrives with a message from Brian that the raiders have crossed with the Aes Sedai and that he advises them to stay close to camp. Egwene snaps that Aes Sedai go where they wish. Next up, Ramonda. She tells Egwene that talks are going badly and eventually starts commenting on the kin when Egwene chooses her moment and tells her that the Oath Rod is the only real difference between Aes Sedai and the kin and that she plans to allow Aes Sedai to remove the oaths and retire into the kin. Ramonda is appalled, insisting that she will die as an Aes Sedai and storms out. Lelaine arrives, and after commenting on Fowlane's confinement after being discovered as Egwene's plant, she starts talking about water bonds and how waters can basically be compelled. She suggests they use these types of bonds on the Asha'man, and Egwene summarily shuts that down. If she finds out anyone is using such a bond, she will have the sister birched, and with that, Lelaine leaves. All this time, Egwene has been fretting over the secret mission for that evening. She decides to take Bode's place in the plot, takes Bella in an attempt at passing for Swan, and rides out to the boat that takes her out onto the river. They row over to the harbour chain under the cover of darkness, and she's instantly changes the entire thing into Quaindiar. At the same time, she feels someone else channel, and suddenly she's in the water. When she comes to, she has been shielded and has been captured by sisters from the White Tower, who seem to have been tipped off about her plan. And lastly, we turn to Rand, who is still on the estate in Tyr, when Bashir arrives with a response from the Seanchan. Suroth wants the Dragon Reborn to meet the daughter of the Nine Moons. Shoo! Okay, so as you can obviously tell, that is a recap from the last section of Crossroads of Twilight and not New Spring, because those events lead straight into the events of this book. So, speaking of this book, Knife of Dreams, let's cover the prologue. We have a couple of points of view to get through here, and first up is a POV from Galad, or as most people seem to pronounce it, Galad. Jody, you're up.
Yes. I did do notes about this guy. I recall now.
You.
Yes. Galad. Galad's too fancy. He's Galad. Galad Trom. You remember Trom, the only other relative, I hesitate to use the word cool white cloak. He's a Lord Captain now. Since we last saw him, he's got an upgrade. He fought some Seanchan, and basically a lot of new positions opened up after that battle. So he got a raise. Bayar, Child Bayar, and Bornhold are all trotting down a lonely forest road to the manor house the Seanchan gave to Eamon Valder. So now they're buddies with the Seanchan. Okay. A lot has happened. All right. So they fought them, they attacked, they fought them a bit, and then they said, okay, we're going to be buddies now. So Galad, Trom, Bayar, and Bornhold. So Galad was marching out of town, out of the camp, and all these guys just joined him because they were like, yeah, we're going with you. You don't even have to tell us what you're going to do. They're all on a mission to right some wrongs. They all have some red in their ledger that they would like to erase. As they arrive, they see Valder and 50 of his men through the open doors into the courtyard. Inside, they also find Asunawa and 6 of his questioners standing around him like bodyguards. They, of course, are all standing apart from the other children, obviously. Think themselves too good. I mean, everyone's too good for Whitecloaks, but these guys should not think that. Valder is dressed to the nines. He's got more silk and embroidery than Niall ever had worn as Lord Captain Commander. But this is a hard man as well. He's not just some pussy in silk. Now, Valder is surprised to see Trom there, because he is supposed to be halfway to Nasad to meet the Seanchan. There's some big meeting going on. And Galad is surprised to see Valder ready to leave. There's this big meeting apparently just over the border with the Seanchan, and Valder likes to, arrive fashionably late to those Seanchan meetings, just to show that, listen, we've sworn our, fealty to you, but we're still our own guys. We do what we want, kind of a thing. So he thinks this must be a very important meeting if Valder's not doing that. Trom tells Valder that he'll be skipping this meeting with the Seanchan as a child under his command has accused another of abusing a female relative of his, and he wants a trial beneath the light. Before Valder can say anything, Asunawa chimes in, saying that a trial beneath the light is usually requested by the accused, not the accuser, as a way of defense. And anyway, it hasn't been invoked in over 400 years. Why don't you give me this person's name and I'll go take care of it quietly? But Valder is not happy with Asunawa. The request was directed at him. He's like, he's talking to me, bro. Don't chime in. His dislike for Asunawa and his love for grand gestures leads him to make a loud speech about the old ways and justice and the light and blah, 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 blah. Standing there with his feet apart, all grand, talking to these other white cloaks. and telling Trom his man can make this challenge. And it's like, oh, great. He's right here. Galad? So it's about Morghese. Right, so now we know what it's all about. Bayar had let some rumors slip when he was drunk. No, not Bayar. What the other guy? Bornhold. Sorry, why did I write Bayar? Yeah, so anyway, Bornhold was drunk, obviously. Let some rumors slip about Galad when he was drunk about Morghese when he was drunk around Galad. And Bayar had confirmed the rumors as true because remember, him and Valda used to be buddy-buddy. So Galad, at that point, had felt a bone-burning rage inside. Now he just feels cold. So he calls Aemon Valda, Child of the Light, to a trial beneath the light for the unlawful assault of Morghese. It wasn't unlawful, it was awful.
It was quite awful.
It was terrible. Of Morghese.
Would there be a lawful assault? Isn't assault just unlawful?
Well, I suppose like in battle, that's an assault.
Maybe because it's Whitecloak law, because they were like, this was a
doesn't make
lawful
sense.
assault.
Yeah. I suppose like if the cops arrest you for vagrancy and they beat you up, it's a lawful assault.
No, the cops can't do that. It
depends on which country you're
Whitecloaks
in.
can.
The Whitecloaks are... They don't have jurisdiction over anyway. The whole world is their jurisdiction. So everything's lawful to them, under the light.
Oh, God.
Now everyone's pissed off. Billy, you've ruined it now. So yeah.
Don't worry, it's about to get rad.
So what about a trial beneath the light for unlawful assault on Morghese Trakand, Queen of Andor, and for her murder? The last part he added because no one's seen her since, so he assumes, she's dead. Before Valda can reply that nosy Asunawa butts in again, he wants Galad arrested and tortured as a dark friend for these ridiculous accusations. What is this bullshit? Blah, 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 blah. But as his questioners take one step towards Galad to do the arresting, you hear the drawing of swords and the loosening of swords in scabbards. Both Asunawa and Valda are they look shocked that it has come to this, that this men would not even need an order. But Valda recovers quickly. He takes the opportunity to gloat to Asunawa how the children follow him, and the law, and not a questioner's whims. He denies Galad's charges, obviously, and accepts his challenge. Great. Something fun to watch, or read about at least. While he's preparing for the duel, like they go back to their men, and they're having chats and giving each other advice and taking off belts and, helmets and all kinds of things. He takes the opportunity to remind everyone that he's a blade master. Valda this is, as he hands a child named Kashgar his sword, telling him to take care as it's a heron-marked blade. You hear that, everyone? Heron-marked blade over here. He also accuses Galad of scheming with Aes Sedai, mentioning his sister and insinuating a secret plot. It's like, we all know your sister wants to be Aes Sedai. This is some Aes Sedai plot to discredit me and blah, 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 blah. Bayar, having spent a lot of time with Valda, whispers to Galad that he likes to strike at the arms and the legs. He likes to bleed his opponents before killing them. He's also quicker than you would expect, and favors striking at your left and expects you to do the same. A shot for the tips, bro. That's really helpful. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he uses those tips.
It does, exactly, during the fight.
Yeah.
And... and he thinks to himself as well that's weird that a sword master would be so predictable. But cool, it works out in my favor. So Valda starts telling everyone how this is going to go, but Trump, you come here and stand here and we'll meet in the middle and all that. But Trump interrupts him. He's like, hey, you're a participant in this. You're the accused. You can't be the arbiter. And since Trump, me, is the highest ranking officer here, he will be the arbiter. So Galad gives Bornhold one last instruction before he marches out to his fight. He's like, watch those sneaky questioners. And then Trom starts proceedings. They have a chance to meet without swords for a quick private chat to see if this whole thing can be avoided. Because if not, one of them dies today. Let's see if we can avoid bloodshed. But again, Valda takes an opportunity, this time to gloat quietly so that no one else can hear, that Galad's mother was the best ride he had ever had. Oh, and he didn't kill her. It's like, oh, No, he didn't. Galad controls his rage, and he feeds it into the flame. And by the time he reaches Dane to get his sword, he's already achieved the oneness. He also studied under Asha'man, as you recall, and Gareth. He knows about sword fighting. He's got a few skills of his own. So
Hamar?
Hamar. What did I say? Asha'man.
Haman.
Said Haman.
Is an ogre. Elder Haman.
Oh, dude, so many fucking...
Very close.
Doesn't have a sword.
You don't know if he didn't study under Asha'man. He might have taken a summer off to go and study the Ogier ways. You know, these royalty. So they move to engage. Valda approaches with Cat crosses the courtyard, and Galad with emptiness, reflecting their current moods. Galad ready to sheathe the sword if necessary to kill Valda. Valda, not that it's mentioned, but I assume he is not that committed. And they begin. And then I've summarized the fight as, go read it, because I'm not doing it here. But basically, Galad fakes fatigue to lure Valda into a trap towards the end, where he uses reaping the barley to slice him open. There, fight done. But it's a pretty cool fight, and if you haven't read it, go read it. Yeah. Lots of new sword forms that I haven't read about before. So just imagine it. So, Valda, surprised, he actually starts his next maneuver after being sliced, his next form, but realizes after a few seconds that, oh, wait, I'm dying.
Oh, wait.
I'm trying to hold his guts in his stomach. Falls to the floor and then onto his face, very unceremoniously, and he's dead.
Woohoo.
Yeah, and there was much rejoicing. Galad cleans his sword on Valda's coat as the children slap. But first he does that little flick with the wrist, just flick the most of the blood off. Very cool maneuver. And then wipes his blood off on his dead opponent. And all the children around start slapping their shoulders, their armored shoulders rhythmically in respect. So there's like a salute to him. Mm-hmm. Everyone in there does it, except for the questioners, of course, because they're not there. It's like, God damn it, Dane, you had one job. But he tells them, no, listen, as soon as Galad's last stroke hit, Asunawa and his buddies left, post-haste. Dane starts dressing his wounds. He's like, oh, shit, some of these are going to need stitches, but look, we haven't got time. Because that question has gone to go fetch some bad guys. He's going for reinforcements. That'll have to wait. So he just bandages him up. Because now, after he's left the oneness, he realizes, oh shit, I've been sliced up pretty good.
A lot.
Yeah. Lots of bleeding. He's like, listen, you're going to bleed to death if I don't sort this out right now. But he's alive and all bandaged up. But another child mentions that Asunawa didn't go back to the camp. He went the other way, to the boarding and the meeting with the Seanchan. He went to that meeting. So Trump thinks he's going to go join the other Lords Captain that are there and go get some of them, or all of them, to come back and arrest him. And he believes that some of them will hold to tradition, and this was like a duel beneath the light, It's the law, but other Lords Captain will not. So they're in trouble. They need to get out of there pronto. Trom offers to release Galad from the children, because he is a Lord Captain now. He has that authority. And then try to get as many of the other Lords Captain on his side to try and prevent a mutiny between the Children of the Light. But Galad refuses. This is bigger than him. They have to deal with the Seanchan. It's like, listen, guys, I can't run away now. We've got one of these biggest obstacles out of our way. We have a fighting chance now. Galad thinks they should find anyone that's fighting the Seanchan and ally with them. The children need to fight in the last battle. He's got long-term plans. Anyone also means Aes Sedai. But if you want to fight in the last battle, it means fighting along Aes Sedai. There's some guys there that only realize it for the first time. You could see them nodding, going oh yeah, that's right. If I have to fight in the last battle, never even occurred to me. Surprisingly, Dane speaks up to defend Galad in regards to allying with the Aes Sedai. So everybody is like, all right, nodding their heads and realizing, oh shit, this is the reality of the situation. The rest of the children that are there, the other 50 guys, they all fall in line. They'll fight with the Aes Sedai, even with these Asha'man that they've heard about, if that means that they can fight the Seanchan. Trom tells the new Lord Captain Commander that he'll get his wish, and the law is clear. He killed Valda in fair combat. The title is his. Galad
So
thinks
good.
this is a joke. Like, no, man, don't be funny. Don't be joking about this. He's like, no, it's yours, bro. You're the new leader. Also, Kashgar arrives, remember from him earlier, and hands Galad Valda's heron-marked sword. There's a couple of things that you gain when killing the Lord Captain Commander, and heron-marked sword is one of those things too.
Mm-hmm.
End of point of view.
So good. This one came out of nowhere. I was so surprised. Like, I mean, obviously remember the scene. I just didn't realize it happened this soon.
First thing.
Yeah,
Nice.
It's so good.
And there you go. Slicey dicey. I initially had a few questions about the manner of death. So beautifully set up, great sword fight, very descriptive, laboring breath, deeply to show fake fatigue and all the rest. But then slice him across his midriff. He then blood came pouring over his chin. And I was like, hold on. If you cut his guts out, blood's not going to come up your esophagus. So he must have sliced him sort of the bottom side of the lungs.
Just nipped a lung.
Just nipped the lung.
There is a quote where he slices him across the ribs. So it's in the rib stomach area. Well, obviously his guts are lying on the floor, so it's definitely stomach and ribs, and maybe deep enough to nick a lung.
Yeah. Well, definitely. I mean, the blade tip went through, but how good. It was just so good.
So good. Like, because what does he do now? Full disclosure, it's been a few weeks now since I've read this. But, like, isn't it like he's fighting him? It's sort of like evenly balanced in the beginning, and then Valda sort of takes control and keeps like bleeding Galad, and Galad sort of does the same move over and over and over again, like almost 5 times. I think he does the exact same maneuver.
Galad was
switches it as well to like
very
to change
labored, tired. He didn't know if it was minutes or an hour that they've been fighting.
Yeah.
He's taken on his left side, left thigh, 2 deep ones, and on his arm 2 deep ones. So
Just
he
like Bayard told
went
him.
with deliberately breathing quite deeply and going for threading the needle for his left shoulder, threading the needle for his left shoulder. So he kept going. What I assume would, in my mind, is like a slow lunge, almost like a.
It's definitely
like a rapier
Poke
stab,
of some kind.
yeah,
like
like
a
a sort of
stabby,
fencing type stab. And but at the whole time that he's thinking, like, I've got to be faster because he's as fast as a viper. And in his hubris, in believing that he's got Galad, he's now just repeating. It's like when you're playing someone at Mortal Kombat and they're only using that one punch because that's the one that comes through the whole time.
Spamming.
Yep, that's exactly what Galad was doing with
that's
him.
me.
And
I'm that guy using that one punch.
He decided, okay, he took a very casual, because it was the hummingbird kisses the honey the honey rose or something, and then he went for something to hit him on the left again, and that's when he changed his barley reap and sliced across him and said, "Cheers."
And it's also like with every attack, Galad is doing it slower and slower.
And
like
slower.
But then he knows that he can't defend quickly and give away the fact that he is actually still fast. So he has to slow his defense. So he's taking wounds.
Slices.
Yes, it's so badass.
It's a trap. It's just an absolute good trap, because he also knows that you take the slices now because those slices are going to slow you down. If it goes on longer, blood loss will slow you down. Your fatigue will catch up. So, okay,
you're pot committed when
I've got to now
strategy.
be committed and get sliced a couple more times, because that is, he also realized that unlike he was taught to end a fight quickly, Valda takes pleasure in the torture of slowing you down, and then kind of like comes in for the death blow only towards the end, kind of like almost an insult kill. And he banked on it like a lot of information. But he gave away his whole fight. Like, I'm going to go for your neck. I'm going to go and decapitate you. And beautiful. I loved it. I just loved everything about it.
I'm pretty sure Galad also mentioned something. I was setting myself up for a callback here, but I'm pretty sure like before the fight starts, he even thinks to himself or says to one of the other guys, if I need to sheath the sword, I will do that as well. You know, like
He thinks it to himself. Save you the callback. He said, if I need to sheath the sword to win this, I will win this. Yes, which means to take the blade.
What I liked about this sword fight is like you got this impression that a great swordsman will win because he is better skilled at the forms. But it's not just that. It's the mental game as well, and knowing your opponent and allowing yourself to take hits to lure people into traps. And like that's a whole different aspect of sword fighting. Because you see, maybe this is true as well, because now Galad is a sword master. He's a blade master now because he beat one in combat.
Yes.
But Valda got it when he performed in front of five other blade masters.
Yes.
And they voted unanimously. So
yes,
he is one that's focused on being technically, is very good technically at the form.
Yes.
But Galad now has to like use other aspects in the mind games as well. So
and
not just good at the forms, as well as having the strength of character and mind to be able to beat someone like that. So yeah.
It's also cool how when he notices that or when he observes Valda using Cat crosses the courtyard to walk into his read on it is like he's using the arrogant walk of Cat crosses the courtyard, which then makes you think like Lan taught Rand something that looks arrogant, you know, so that Rand can like be built up when he went to meet Swan in the Great Hunt. So like it wasn't just something to teach Rand how to be relaxed. It was sort of to like give Rand an air of authority,
status, and arrogance.
Yeah.
The other thing there was a new word for me. Obsequious.
Obsequious.
Everyone pronounces it differently.
And,
yes, I know that word, and this is how you say it.
The poor the groomsmen that's tending to the horses while they're all sitting and facing off fight. They did their tasks obsequiously.
It's like sniveling, is it? Like a
obedient, attentive, with sort of an excessive degree of following.
Yes, with like, but it's got like a negative connotation, right? Like it's, like you would expect a lackey in an old cartoon, you know, to be for their "oh yes, master," you know, like that sort of vibe.
No, that's how I think of it. Might be wrong. Yeah, but there's also like servants up on the balconies doing cleaning and stuff like that. When everyone starts pulling out their swords, they're like, "Oh shit! Like, how do I get out of here?"
The other thing that really grabbed me in that is when the pulling of all the Whitecloaks pulling their swords, the described as a rasping, which just for me was like I could hear it, like.
Yeah, it's a good word.
That metal on metal. It's just such a descriptive word. It was like the rasping of their blades on their sheaths.
Yeah. What else, Vil? What else you got in there? I got a couple little smatterings.
Oh, I mean, it's a very dark chapter. Like the accusation that we know it to be true because we read it. But it came out as a rumor from drunk Bornold to Galad, and then confirmed later on by Bayar and everyone.
Yeah,
and then saying like, "Look, I'm a man of honor. I'm a man of, this. I'm not going to stand up to this."
Bayar says I've done some dark things in my day and probably will again, but this I cannot let stand. I was like, shit.
I was like,
he does have a line.
Okay, yeah. He actually has a level of this is wrong. Yeah. So I mean, it starts off pretty ominous.
And it is a surprise to like Trom with Galad makes sense, but then when you read the chapter and you start it off and it's like, oh, Child Bayar and Bornold. And they're like backing him up. And Bayar here is giving Galad the tips that he uses to actually win. I'm so conflicted. Like, thanks, Bayar? Is that how I feel?
Thanks,
grateful?
But also, after the win, the approval of
Bornold.
All the Whitecloaks.
Yes.
All of them standing there, and all of them also the following saying like, look, man, you're going to have to stand and fight with the Aes Sedai or the Asha'man. This is the reality. Like, we're going to be armies band together to fight against the dark. So this is what I say. And if you can't do it, and the very big guy that can break walnuts between his fingers, that speaks.
Yeah.
It's ready to fight anyone that will take him on about it. But yes, he will do that. Like our battle is against the dark. Our battle is not against each other. That comes first.
First Seanchan, then last battle.
What was it about this? You can partner with a snake in a fight against the crow or something is used as a reference. That's quite apt because the crow is a symbol for this Seanchan.
The raven.
Yeah, the raven.
Prince of ravens.
Yeah, it was the raven. You can pair with
the
the
Aes Sedai
serpent,
or the serpent
to fight the raven. Something like that was the saying. Anyway, that's me.
I'll go look it up as a callback, I guess.
Don't bother.
What else did I have here? Do you guys remember where we read about Trom?
He was in an inn. They were drinking together when they met Elaine.
And Nynaeve, yes.
Is it the guy that Nat throw the barrels?
No,
not that guy.
That's Bornald.
That's not Dane. Dane's dad.
Jeffrey. No, it was Dane. Maybe it was Bayar or Dane.
I'm sure it was Dane.
Yeah. I
think it was Where they splash mud on him.
No, Trom is the nice guy. He's the guy that's with Matt. He's like the sort of jovial guy that's with Galad in Sienda when they meet. You remember when Galad starts a conflict between the Dragonsworn and like there's a whole big battle.
He starts a riot to get Egwene and
looking for a boat, something.
Yes, they had asked for a boat. Yes.
Okay.
He's also in Amador when Morghese is there, and he is the one, him and some other Whitecloaks find a dark friend gathering where they're sort of like chanting and stuff like in Amador. We're laughing about like the balls on these dark friends in Amador. And they're all hung. And Piter was the dark friend that was telling Morghese he can help her escape with his uncle, was one of those dark friends. And that's the guy that Rand punches in the nose in the Eye of the World in an inn. Like he's the dark friend, the young dark friend that like wants to, like cause shit with him and Rand punches him in the face. What else did I have here? Valda is just like so self-righteous, like he does that big speech before he knows that he's the one being accused. So he says to like loudly in front of everyone, he says to Trom, inform your man, he may issue his challenge, Trom, and face the one he accuses sword to sword. If that one tries to refuse, I declare that he has acknowledged his guilt and I order him hanged on the spot.
You did it yourself.
Guilt for what?
Valda, that's you. When Galad is talking about the oneness, he thinks to himself that he was trained in the oneness by Gareth and Henry.
Oh, good old Henry. Yeah.
So Joe, you mentioned Hamar, who's obviously the water trainer at the White Tower, who was a blade master as well, under whom Galad and Gawain did train. But Henry, do you remember who Henry is? I did not. I had to look this up, and it was
I actually said Hamar because I thought that's what it was written in the book. Not Henry.
You just read Hamar, yes.
If I just had to think,
Henry Haslin was Master of the Swords in the Queen's Guard under Queen Morghese. He was dismissed by Lord Gabriel during his remaking of the army. Haslin was dismissed from his position training recruits allegedly due to his age, but was really dismissed because of his loyalty to Morghese, and he was eventually recruited by Rand to train the Asha'man in swordplay. He has a big red nose with only a small amount of white hair.
That's right.
Does that ring a bell?
Is he at the Black
Tower? He was
taken
to the farm. Yes. Yeah, he was taken to like when it was still early days, when Rand said, "You guys are all going to learn to use the sword." It's this guy that also trained Galad.
All right. Well, awesome.
Pretty cool.
Pretty good person to get you to achieve the oneness. So, which means he might be? Is he Andoran, or could he be Shinaran? Or
he's Andoran. He's like a loyal Queensman. Morghese he's Caemlyn's or Andor's master of the swords.
Pretty sure.
But Brian is also a blade master. So like. Those two taught Galad since he was a young boy, and then he went and studied under Hamar. So yeah, he's gonna do well. And it is cool how that guy brings over the Heron Mark blade, and it's like we've just witnessed. I guess Rand kills Turak, but that's that was sort of blind luck. And I also don't place a lot of value in the Blade Masters from Seanchan. I think they're more like the Voldo ones, because Rand killed Turak so easily. But other than that anomaly, we haven't seen someone graduate to the rank of Blade Master in this way, which is
in front of witnesses. Yeah,
in front of witnesses and like to the death, like he fucking killed that guy. The last sentence of Galad's point of view is, "It was the right thing to do." Just, yeah. Of course it is.
RJ just hammering that point home one last time.
Gotta just remember Galad's this guy.
Yeah.
We've spent a lot of time on this one. For me, this was obviously like a standout point of view. The others are maybe less exciting.
More informative. This was the action one. I think this is the one that you needed to wet the whistle. It's like that.
It's a good way to start, eh? Yes.
Warm day. It's been thirsty work out in the fields, digging a hole or whatever you were doing that made you thirsty on a warm day, and you open that first ice cold, crisp, refreshing beverage, whatever your refreshing, crisp beverage of choice is, and the first sip turns into just your throat opening up,
a gulp,
and you just gulp it down. This is what this bit was for me.
That's
the rest
Galad
was
point of
great,
view.
but this one was like, yes,
extra good.
Mm.
I also quite like this next one. Maybe not as much as you do. Maybe that's why you feel aggrieved in the chapter allocations.
No, I do too. But there's not so much to dive into it. It's like,
no, it's less. Yeah. So let's go into it. This is a point of view from Rodel Ituralde. Take it away, Villy.
Rodel Ituralde is a man. We haven't heard much about him, but we know his name because he is a man that is known for being a great general. Yeah. So he is sitting on a hilltop just before sunrise. He's got his looking glass out and he is surveying the area around Serana, which is now not a battle area. The Seanchan has taken full control of Tarabon, and this is one of the resupply outposts, left to be guarded by mostly Tarabon traitors, who is sworn to the Empress, may she live forever. And they are pretty lax at their duties as well, he notes, and especially at that hour of the morning. He is getting a bunch of men ready, not only there, all across Tarabon, where they have done quite a bit of scouting and information gathering. And it gets to the point where this clever general shielding his looking glass with his hands so he doesn't get the shine too. So he's caught out. Just says now, and 300 archers lose a first volley. By the time the first volley lands, a second volley is in the air, and a third one is being drawn back and taking out his most dangerous opponents immediately, which is a Suldam and a Damani, which he was surprised to find there. But it's in this resupply camp, not really, but they sprouted arrows. Love that. Just like,
so first there's another force that comes out of the trees, right? And it draws all the Seanchan troops into formation.
Focus.
And the Suldam, yes. And
So
they're sitting beside the lake under the cover of trees because it's only on the side of the lake that they're close enough to the town, because the town's got like, how far? Like a mile in each direction around the town. Cleared. Except on the other side of the lake. So they're sitting on that side
where
of the
Hawk
water.
was hunting all along the bridges.
So the others trigger it and then he lobs it from the side.
So yes, the cavalry, we shall call them, on horseback, advanced but not fast. The arrows did the work. They did not advance at a trot. I would say they advanced at a canter.
That makes all the difference.
A canter and a trot is completely two different motions in horse running physique. Either way, the arrows did all the work. By the time it landed, all that they really needed to do was set fire to it. He felt sorry for the surrounding farmers' houses because fires do spread and it's a nasty thing. But he said at the end of the third volley, all right, let's go burn down some Seanchan stores. And if he was correct in his way and his thinking, the same thing was happening all over Tarabon at the same time. It was a calculated strike. all together, and this will surely draw them out. Draw them as he retreats and raids through Tarabon back to his native land, where they will fall into trap. But if they do not, he has a plan B, and his plan B has a plan C, and he is ready for them. He's also ready to slay Tarabona traitors, including someone that was recognized. I didn't note his name down because he dead or ran away. But
the main guy from Tarabon, the force that came out of the trees, the ones that drew the original attention from the Seanchan, was led by the Taraboners, right? Like the people that he had allied with. Because Aradoman, that's the end of the chapter, right? Or,
that's it. That's just a very quick little one of basically him setting the bait.
So Aradoman obviously is in the north. Tarabon is in the south, and you've got the Elmouth Plain in between them. And there's been skirmishes between Aradoman and Tarabon across the Elmouth Plain for ages.
Before the Seanchan came.
Oh, before the Seanchan, yes. I mean, they're always at each other's
we've read about this before the Seanchan landed already, that they have had their little skirmishes, and it's basically territory about the plains.
Because the Elmouth Plain is just right there, so they're sort of like, and I mean, that's where Pedro Nile also was sort of causing, strife between them, because he wanted to go in and clean up and claim Elmouth Plain for the Whitecloaks and Tarabon and all the countries around it.
They'll advance at a trot.
So what Ituralde has done is, in that prologue of Crossroads of Twilight, where we read about Ituralde the first time, where he goes to that meeting and he's sort of pulling on his earring because people know that means he's getting impatient, but he's just trying to send that, like just playing these guys completely. He was meeting with Dragonsworn from Aradoman and Tarabon. And we were saying, like, it's quite different. These Dragonsworn aren't the Masema Dragonsworn. They are just people that, since Falme, know that the dragon has been reborn, and they are sort of like trying to corral, forces and troops and stuff in the name of the dragon, and opposing anyone that, because they saw this vision in the sky, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. So what he did was, in that prologue, in Crossroads of Twilight, he was getting those guys to agree to this plan. So what he was trying to do here is this, so like, Plan A is the Seanchan all gather up and they lead them up into Aradoman, or past the Elmouth Plain into Aradoman to spring the trap that they're going to set for them. And like you said, Vil, if they don't follow, and then at least he's rid of the Taraboners, right? Then the Taraboners are no longer in Aradoman, because they are now down in Tarabon, and they're going to probably stay there and fight the Seanchan and stuff there. So he's achieved a secondary goal.
And also they become a barrier between him and them. Because
could be, yes, absolutely.
I mean, we learn it later in Suroth's chapter, but the question is, did the Taraboners betray us? That's a big point now, because now there's going to be suspicion on the Taraboners. What's the general's name? Jade, it's your chapter. The second highest of the forerunners. Suroth was the forerunners, and this general was Galgan. Galgan was like, no, it looks like they actually fought well on our side. But I mean, clever.
Yeah.
Clever.
I think it's part of his plan is to use the Taraboners that are on his side and paint the stripes on them to make it look like it's a rebellion. It's a mutiny. Yes. But it's not the original Seanchan guys. They actually did stay on the Seanchan side and fought honorably.
Because they're also getting into all these supply camps and stuff. They're probably grabbing a bunch of like Seanchan.
Don't even have to paint stuff. It's just armor lying around.
Or use their own paint.
Yeah. Paint's in short supply.
And then he goes, if the Seanchan do chase him back into Aradoman, and if they see the trap, it's okay. He's got another plan. And if that plan doesn't work, he's got another plan after that. And he's literally smiling as he's riding off, and it's just fucking cool. I dig it.
Yeah. It's like a Matt type character. He's thought long and hard.
And he's just always in general mode, right? Like in the first prelude, the first prologue we read about him, we saw him like sort of analyzing the room and reading the signs. Oh, this guy's speaking up, so he's got the support of these people. Oh, maybe he doesn't have that, like just it's a 4D chess all the time. And in this one, he has things like the proximity of the town to the soldiers' camp. So the soldiers made their camp very close to the town. That spoke of slack discipline, because it's only a short walk for them to get to the inns and get ale and that sort of stuff. And then when the troops from inside the town ride over a bunch of civilians, he says, "Oh, the tall man doesn't seem to twitch his reins when he rides over those villages, so he's a veteran." Okay, so he's just like filing away all these facts and like how he can predict what they might do based on what he knows about them. And it's just great character, a guy we hardly read about, but every time we read about him, I'm just totally
the little bit we've read about him has been condensed in the information that sets him up.
This is 43 days, I checked, after that meeting that he had with the High Lords, or the Dragon Sworn Lords from Aratamon.
From now on, I'm just going to picture him as Hannibal from the A-Team, like a big cigar in his mouth, riding off,
with
loving that
dangly
plans
earring.
come together.
And a beauty spot. Okay, did you have anything else there, Joe, that you want to say about that chapter?
I mean, this chapter comes up in my next chapter, so
okay,
these events, so we'll cover them there.
All right. Well, then, speaking of that, I keep saying chapter, that point of view.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
That point of view is the one from Suroth. So, Joe, tell us about Suroth.
Oh, this bitch. What are we going to talk about her? Hang on.
Hey, come on.
Oh. What? Hey, come on, what?
You have to be a little bit more respectful to all the main characters, the people that they build the story.
Main characters.
Like, this is Suroth, the dark friend Seanchan. Come on.
Are you done?
All the best people.
All the best of the best. It's been 17 days since Tuon disappeared. Yeah, 43 days, 17 days. There's a nice little timeline, recap for us. Thanks, old RJ. And our Lady Suroth is having some trouble sleeping. Perhaps something's playing on her conscience? No, it's not. She doesn't have a conscience. So she's awake in her bed, staring at the ceiling, can't sleep, when old Liandrin sneaks in. So Suroth is giving us, the reader, a little mental recap as she lies there. Tuon's gone missing. Is she dead? Is she alive? Rena and Seta too. Egwene was involved somehow. She's also missing. Talene was also found dead. And she's convinced it was done with the one power, and therefore it must have been one of the Damane, or the Sul'dam and Damane combination. So just so many possibilities. Mm-hmm. Her own head may very well soon be on the chopping block if she doesn't sort this all out. She's still clinging to the hope that Tuon is alive, because Tuon's Der Sul'dam had taken all of her Sul'dam and Damane out to practice and not returned. So she's thinking, Tuon disappeared, and then like a day or two later, all of her other people disappear. So something's afoot. The captain of Tuon's bodyguard has also disappeared 9 days ago, with a large chunk of his men. So she's like, she's putting all... Yes. With the Death Watch guards and all of those people. So she's assuming that all of these people leaving at different times all had a plan, that they were sneaking away to go and get something done. But if she's wrong, she might have to kill herself to save face.
She's very wrong.
And yes. Yeah. So please, just kill yourself now. Save us all the problems. So her thoughts are interrupted as Liandrin sneaks in, as I said, in her Dakovale dress. A bold move, considering the giant Lopar lying in the corner. Almandaragal is the Lopar's name. We're on a first-name basis now. And a dagger under her pillow. So Liandrin doesn't seem to notice or care about the Lopar, though, as she pauses at the foot of Suroth's bed. Suroth is not taking any chances with this sneaky-ass Aes Sedai. She asks her, "What, Liandrin? You building up the courage?" And Leandrin's like, she's a bit freaked out, surprised. She falls to her knees. Shit, never. She's loyal. What are you insinuating? Blah, 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 blah. Even having, she's loyal, is what I'm saying. That's what her thing. She's like, I'm loyal to you. I'll never betray you. I'll never try to kill you. She's like, whatever. She's like, yeah, I even remember I disappeared Elwyn, the previous surgeon to Suroth. Recap for everyone. She's the one who found Rena and Seta in the collar, so she knows about the whole Sul'dam can channel thing.
No, that's Bethaman.
It's Bethaman, yes.
But Elwyn knows it too.
No, she was just annoying. She started asking
Elwyn
questions.
did know it. No,
Elwyn did know it because I was just assumed she's the one that found them, but she knows it too. And Suroth didn't kill her because she knew that she was loyal, And even though she knew the information, there was a very small risk that she was going to rat her out.
Yeah.
But Liandrin went, she knows it, she needs to go. So Liandrin dispatched her to the afterlife. But, as like a dumbass, she poisoned her instead of pushing her down the stairs or making it look like an accident. So her face blew up, all purple, and her eyeballs popped out. And it caused some suspicion and brought a whole bunch of seekers into Suroth's household, which she didn't want. So she doesn't need that kind of attention.
All I saw was, what is that king's name in Game of Thrones? Joffrey's poisoning
Joffrey,
scene.
Yeah. That's what her face looked like. Exactly like that. So Liandrin did all this to try and gain more favor with Suroth, but it just pushed them further apart. Which is a bit of I think maybe she's just desperate, because Liandrin should know better than that. Aes Sedai and Black Ajah on top of it. She should know how to get rid of people. So she's like, well, whatever. Why are you here? And she's like, oh, yeah, I'm here to tell you that General Galgan is here and he wants to see you. And then she's like, oh, my God, you are just the worst Takovale ever. Why didn't you start with that? So she considers killing Liandrin like right then and there, and also just slapping her foot forward. But she don't know that would lower her eyes. There's too many deaths in her household so close together would draw even more suspicion. So she's like, fucking whatever. You're so lucky you're surviving tonight. So she sends Liandrin to Rosala, who only by name I looked her up. I was like, who's Rosala? No one. She appears here in this moment just so that she can beat the shit out of Liandrin. Go find her and ask her for a beating. I'm going off to meet the general. Leandrin's like, me? What did I do wrong? She's like, what? Gives her a list of all the things she did wrong, and off she runs. She even leaves a slipper behind. Runs right out of her shoes to get out of the room. So off she goes to meet this general. She meets another guy who takes her there. It's besides the point. Eventually she's in a room, and he's there with news of enemies in Tarabon. Tarabon? We were just talking about Tarabon. There shouldn't be any enemies in Tarabon. You know, Suroth had made quite sure upon arrival to clear that area out and pacify it. And now it's all basically gone to hell again.
Ciandar.
Well, we'll find out about Ciandar at the end of this point of view as well.
How safe it is.
How safe it is. So basically, in the last 24 hours, we get more details about what Ituralde's plan was and what actually happened. So in the last day, there have been attacks on 7 major supply camps, 20 supply trains, 17 small houseboats, as well as 15 small skirmishes, and 11 patrols have not checked in. Some settlers were attacked too, and some things were burnt, and some people died, but that didn't seem to be the main target, these settlers. But at all of these points, there was the same message. Get out of Tarabon. Y'all, fuck off now. And all committed by bands of 200 to 500 Taraboners. Maybe in total around 10 to 20,000, he suggests. Most with painted stripes on their armor. Suroth's like, mutiny? And he's like, nah, I don't think so. Our Taraboners are accounted for, and they fought well. And word on the street is that, or word on the plain, I suppose in this instance, is that this is a ruse using dragon sworn by a man named Rodel Ituralde. So they know his name, then they realize it's a plan, all of this. Suroth is pissed off now. She starts giving orders. But this Galgan, and Yulan's there too. Hey, Yulan, nice to see you, buddy. They respectfully disagree. She's like, no, march right there, chop his head off and bring me his head. And they're like, whoa. Everybody chill out now. They still want the troops to deal with the Aiel and the Whitecloaks, who seem to have disappeared. So that makes me wonder, since I haven't read ahead too much, who are they going to meet? Are they going to meet Semirog? Like, who are the Seanchan that they're going to meet?
Are specifically talking here about the Galad and a subset of the Whitecloaks that have disappeared. She references Asanawa and his men and whether they can really be trusted. So Asanawa and his men did go meet with the Seanchan, and they are now tied to the Seanchan. Galad and his Whitecloaks are the traitors or whatever.
They've lost track.
That have disappeared. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, there was a big meeting set with the Seanchan that Asanawa
that's what Joe's asking. Yeah,
was all on time for. And actually, surprisingly, to get there.
Trom was supposed to be there.
Trom's not there. So, but Galgan, this is like an hour before dawn. She hasn't slept. Suroth is all moody, and she's shouting at them and telling them what to do and where to go and how to do it. And Galgan has his own plans. He sees himself on the same level as her because he was in charge of the return, and she's in charge of the Forerunners.
Yes.
But they're supposed to be incorporated. She's supposed to be in charge, but he's like, listen, I'm the general here. And he's not intimidated by her in any way and barely hiding his contempt for her orders. But Suroth wants Ituralde's head. And he will get it for her. Galgan agrees. But as a man that's not obeying her orders, just an equal agreeing to the terms, like, yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, I think I've had to think about it, and I'll do what you say. So she's just so pissed off now that she just leaves. She's like, I'm out of here. Do what you want. And stomps back to her rooms to slam the door and sulk like a whiny little girl. But her sulking episode is interrupted by Semirog, who appears in wreathing flames. She loves a grand entrance.
Flair for the dramatic.
Dude. So it's like, oh, great mistress, I live to serve. Yada. She just says, I am Semirog. She falls to her belly. Yada, yada, the whole thing, you know. She has a deal for Suroth. How would you like to be the empress? She's like, yeah, cool. Yeah, be a good idea. Very dangerous. I mean, I'll probably die. It's not as easy as you think it is. But not to worry, because Semirog has already assassinated the Empress of Seanchan, in Seanchan, back home. So the position has just opened up. And also, this may sound like an offer, but it's really an order. So you will do as I say, and you kill a couple of people, and I'll put you on the Crystal Throne. But Semirog doesn't understand Seanchan law, or maybe she does. Well, this is at least what Suroth thinks, and she's like, if the Empress is dead, and then one of the blood will believe it was, I mean, the rest of Seanchan will believe it was Tuon's sisters because it couldn't have been Tuon because she's here. So she's running through her head, like trying to extrapolate what's going to happen in the future. Yeah.
But Suroth didn't give her all of the story yet.
Yeah, we get the story. So that would make them think that Tuon is dead too, because the sister wouldn't have made a move on the Empress without making sure that her sister's dead too. And that means that Suroth has to go back to Seanchan to apologize for her death, that she had been killed. And then when she gets there, she'll actually have to apologize to the person who actually killed the Empress. Like, she is just freaking out now. It's all such unpleasant business that Suroth is reduced to tears. She's like, thanks for the offer, but I don't think this is going to work, which is terribly amusing to Semirog. Wah, wah, wah. And she's like, no, perhaps I wasn't clear enough. None of that will be necessary, because when I said I killed the Empress, I killed her daughters too, I killed her sons, and I've killed half of the Imperial Court while I was at it. There is no Imperial family for you to be worrying about. There is no empire. Tuon is all that remains. Shandar is in chaos, looting, fighting in the cities, in every city. Armies are marching on the plains. The High Blood are fighting for control. There's like 50 different factions. Or your country's fucked. No one is going to come and bother you here right now. They got their own issues here. So nothing can stop you from killing Tuon and proclaiming yourself the Empress. But Suroth thinks killing Tuon will be difficult still, because she knows about all the other people that have left. She knows about the Death Watch guards, and like it's going to be hard to get past them and whatnot. She's got the Damane and the Dursildom and all the Sildam, and everybody's with her. But Semirog has to explain to her, like, listen, dummy. If they were all working together, they would have left at the same time. They left after, when they find out that she's not there. They are looking for her. They don't know where she is either. So, you must find her first. And basically, that's how it ends. You better move your ass, girl, and find her before the rest do. Slit her throat so that I can put you on the Crystal Throne and control the Empress of the Seanchan. The end.
Hooray. Billy, what did you have to say about your favorite friends over here?
Plenty. Firstly, Suroth doesn't cry because she is Seanchan. She is also of, high nobility. So her crying for the Empress dying is true and real. That's like, wow, you killed my leader. Like, yeah, I'm a dark friend.
She's also indoctrinated.
Yeah, she's indoctrinated. She's part of that. She is part of that world. So it's real. It's a real grieving for her that she's going through. Lopar has 6 fingers. Interesting animals. And sits up to be 10 foot tall. So
it's huge.
How does it fit in the room?
So
How did it get through the door?
I was thinking, like, holy shit, this is a big animal. that she has had since she was a child. So not only, it's not the dog long lived, it's like long lived.
It's old, yeah.
Old, trained, and to the word, everything amazing. So I just sort of like do the mental arithmetic, like how would I put this in my mind? Do you remember He-Man? What was his cat name? The
Battle Cat?
Metal Cat? Yeah, that's
Battle
Battle
Cat.
Cat.
Battle Cat.
But that was when we had the power of Grayskull. But before that, he had a name.
Oh, that's when he was all afraid, wasn't he? Wasn't he like a scaredy cat?
It was
Scaredy cat.
Scaredy
Scaredy cat.
Matthias.
I'm going to Google the shit out of that right now.
Yeah, so
That's what you imagine.
this is I feel a real response, but also Suroth is a dark friend and power hungry. So seeing the obstacles stumble, she has to show grief when that.
But at the end of the chapter, it's like she says, "You want me to be empress or something?" And she sort of freaks out about it. And at the end, when she says it again, she thinks to herself, "This time it was a little easier to say it." So she's already like, "Okay, cool. I've had my grief and everything. Now I'm starting to get used to this idea. I could get used to this."
I don't know if it's
totally.
grief as much as shock.
That screams to the dark friend side of her. That there's a reason she turned against the Empire, because this Seanchan strike me, and I said to you guys, like, they've grown on me. The ways, it's
The slavery is kind of cool. I mean, it makes everyone's lives easier.
When I read this the first time, it's easy to discard and read over those that you don't like, and because you do it, you don't understand it. So it's like, because I despise you, I actually don't want to learn about you. But there's a lot to learn there.
For me, it's like I don't even want to see them, not like with my eyes, but like I don't see the character as a fully realized character.
Now I see the characters. I see what they look like. I read more about, and later on in the book, we're going to get to some of the generals and some of the true fighters. Like there's, again, if you are from that world, you'd go like, wow, what a person this is. And so, yeah, it's
like I said in the chat and in the chapters, like when we read about Karedi and he meets with, that Elmarat Moore, that Seeker, and he's sort of like, they're talking about Tuon posing, and he tells his story about like how it's so unusual for him to have been requesting to be Tuon's bodyguard for such a long time, and he's such a badass, and he's so like you like him, like I was already
absolutely.
at that point, I was already conflicted. I was like, oh man, here's this Seanchan that I'm kind of rooting for. And as I said in the chat, I'm the same as you, Phil. Like I've always had this like just blanket hatred, like complete disgust for the Seanchan. Tuon, by extension, she sort of exemplified that whole thing because of her whole attitude towards Matt as well, and maybe my teenage brain and even my young adult brain, just like she's being mean to my friend, so I don't like her sort of attitude, like never liked Tuon either. But in this first section where Matt is basically courting Tuon in this book,
she's likable, like more than likable.
I've grown to like her as well. Yeah,
like awesome is almost the word I'd use.
The scenes with the Seanchan that rub me the wrong way the most are obviously the slaves, the Dakoval and the Damane. Treating Damane as like subhuman and that sort of stuff is what is the main reason why I don't like them. All their traditions and all their like their battle strategies and all that stuff is actually really, really cool. But then they've got this massive black spot on their name. And I've always kind of like, Karedi is a soldier, right? He doesn't have anything to do with like treating the Damane like animals and that sort of thing. So I allow myself to like him, and maybe have allowed myself to like him in the past. Same with that General Tylee Kurgan that's with Perrin later. But in the past, I disliked Tuon because she is a trainer of Damane, and we hear her talking to Pura or whoever the Damane is that she talked back out of like a hunger strike, the Aes Sedai that had been turned into a Damane. She sort of like brought her back. But in these chapters with Tuon, and I know we're getting into future episodes, there is a scene where she, slaps an Adam on the sisters.
Desmond.
And for me, like that, in the past, it was just another reason. Yeah, I knew it, like she's a garbage Seanchan person, like I shouldn't like her. But even in that moment when Matt takes the Adam off and stuff, you can see she didn't intend on actually like keeping them imprisoned. She was just shocking them. Anyway, this is a lot of me just agreeing with Villy that the Seanchan kind of growing on me a little bit. I'm certainly reading them from a different angle this time.
Yeah. So let's look at the tower as it is at the current state. You've got Elida in there, and you've got the Reds taking over. Yeah, I wouldn't mind walking in there and slapping collars on a lot of Aes Sedai necks.
that's coming.
Yeah, I mean,
including Elida.
So it's you understand where it comes from.
I know.
You use your power that is unique to only a select few of you to govern and take over the world, make you better than the rest of us, enrich yourself, and treat us all as peasants. But then you made us these things that we can now replicate, and now we can control you. So it's a very interesting dynamic. So I'm enjoying the Seanchan reading for the first time.
Yeah, maybe that's the best thing we can say about it now. Like in the past, I might have thought like any chapters I'm reading about the Seanchan, I'm going to dislike the experience. Where I'm actually now quite enjoying it.
Yes, absolutely, and that is where I'm at, and that's what I'm sort of pointing at. That I am enjoying reading it for the first time.
Same. Joe, you had something you wanted to get off your chest there?
Yeah, I was like, Seanchan, you can't. That's the whole country. Not every Seanchan that lives there is a bad guy. You just live there. I thought like all three of us grew up in apartheid South Africa. It doesn't mean we were responsible. I didn't vote for that shit. Yeah. No. So we're nice guys. There's a perfect example.
Jody, I saw you put collars on girls' necks.
That was a different thing, Villy.
Yes, that was a Valentine's Day locket.
Also, Yulan is the Sky Captain guy. He's in charge of the Rakan. Yeah. Did we mention that? Right now?
I brought him up. Yulan, you brought him up, but not his rank and his role. But yes, that is it. And
He-Man's cat is called Cringer. So almost Cringer, almost scaredy cat. We were close.
Okay. Yulan, I was going to say, Joe, it was his plans lying on Karedi's desk when Elmarat Moore arrives, and he comments on them. And Karedi says to him, it's when you talk about plans that things get out. You don't talk about plans like this. And he sort of like clears them off his desk. Those are the plans for the attack on the tower that Yulan is going to execute with the Rakan. He leads that attack himself. Okay, Vil, anything else there?
I'm all good. I can roll forward.
Sweet as.
Roll a crit.
Suroth mentions here the escape of the Atha and Mir Damane. Could mean either complete escape or escape from the kennels and death. I think the former. I think some of those Atha and Mir Damane, because we talked about like we'd like to think that they got away, but in all the notes and discourse on the internet, people are like, well, you don't actually see them get away. Matt sort of had a hint at some of the ships escaping. When he's sitting outside of Ibudar a couple of days later, he's looking out at the harbour and he's thinking back to how many of the ships actually made it out of the harbour. You have to assume some of those Damane made it onto there. But here, Suroth is also not thinking about the attempted escape or the massacre of a bunch of Damane in an attempted escape. She thinks of the escape of the Atha and Mir Damane, which leads me to believe that Matt's plan for those Damane was successful, which is great.
Or certainly some of them. Not all.
Certainly some of them. Guaranteed. Suroth thinks to herself, at least one Suldam had been necessary to uncollar the Seafolk Damane. Why? Because Matt did it. Matt undid, like he could do it. Maybe Suroth either thinks that no one but a Suldam can do it just because she's uneducated, or maybe she thought like a Suldam would have to be present to escort anyone into the kennels. Like only Suldam are supposed to be there.
Yeah. I think that's the latter is more likely. It's like men don't go in there. Must have been a Suldam.
Well, no one that's not a Suldam. Suroth thinks to herself when she's thinking about Tuon and like Tuon's maneuverings and stuff. Tuon doesn't seem to be coming after her. So she must be quote aimed at someone else, not her. Correct, Matt.
She is on a mission against someone. Feels like she's against Matt at this point.
Yes. Love seeing Leandrin like this. slavery is so bad. I hate the Seanchan for slavery, but it's cool to see Leandrin as a slave being sent off to go request a beating. I mean, she deserves it.
Also, it's very Aes Sedai. Like, go tell the Mistress of Novices you need a beating, She's like,
yes,
been there, done
totally.
that. Let's go.
Galgan thinks, and he says to everyone else, that he would believe Ituralde is one of the best generals based on this massive coordinated attack across Seanchan. He's giving him the props as one of the greatest generals in the world based on the bait. It's not even the plan. Just the part where he coaxes them into this thing. Just that coordinated attack is like, wow, yeah, anyone that planned this must be one of the greatest generals on this side of the ocean.
And that reminds me of something that I thought about because his plan was to bait them into following him, and it doesn't look like that was what Galgan wanted to do. But Suroth comes into the room and says, "Go get his head," and he has to do it. So he wasn't going to fall into that trap.
Not a general.
No, but because of her, the plan's going to work.
It works. They take the bait. This other general that they're talking about as well is, I think his name is Turan. He is the unfortunate lieutenant general that is sent to take Ituralde's bait, right? So they say, okay, they'll send Turan. And he's the guy, I think, that at the end, when Ituralde is standing over him, he's sort of like lying, dying. He sort of gives him props. He's like, I see your plan. And Ituralde tells him, yeah, your reports are always coming from the sky. So we just we hid in the houses and that sort of stuff. And the guy's like, fuck, okay, you got me. And he just asks for a quick death. And Ituralde kills him. He gives him a quick death. That's Turan that they're talking about here. I think. Time will tell. Put a pin in it. What else did I have here? Yulan, you already mentioned, Joe. Semirog, just stone cold. Incredible how much blood there is in a human body. Enough to cover the entire crystal throne.
It's a 7.
Okay, you weirdo.
Thanks for mentioning that, I suppose.
And then she also mutters under her breath. Suroth thinks she can hear Semirog say something like, "Let the Lord of Chaos rule." Yeah, that's one way to start chaos. It's just decapitate the leadership in Shiondar and have everyone fight it out. Anyway, that's it from me.
Plotting
Vil, one more.
to take over the Empress or take the throne, or plot overthrow, rebellion, is to...
Wait, you just said a lot of things.
Yes, the same thing. A lot of words that read. If you are caught in a plot to overthrow the empire, the Empress, you are captured with a great level of care taken for you not to die while you are being skinned. All of your skin off your body. Wow.
Nice.
That's... Ow.
They get creative, these Seanchan. What's the other one where they put you in a silk sack and they hang you from the city walls and you stay in there until the sack rots away? That's just it. This is there. There you go. In the sack
silk sack you.
All right, let's move along to the next point of view, which is from Pevara. Vili, tell us, what is Pevara up to?
Boring stuff. She's in the tower. We're back in the tower, and there's a new head of the Red, whatever they call the head, sitter, leader of the... Not
highest?
the sitter. The highest.
The highest.
Her name is Tsutsama, and she is wealthy and quite obviously like to flaunt it. Jody, she's got clocks up the wazoo. Half the clocks in the world is in her rooms. And clocks. Rubies. It's statues carved out of ruby. She's very flamboyant. With Pevara is Javindra, and they are busy getting news. The news is that Dumas Wells went badly, and many sisters died. Galina is dead. No, she's not. She only wishes she was dead. She's still very much alive. We know where she is.
We'll get to her.
No, we will.
Soon.
Now, she's taken the seat of the highest with the Red, and in Galina's fake death. And she is tasking Vara and Javindra with this. We dealt with it the last time round, that maybe we actually need to link with men. to be able to fight. So this all stems from the massive power felt from the cleansing. That, oh no, this is a weapon of the dark. So we need to do something. So we have to do something really drastic, and that is to find Asha'man. And now news is flowing out that there are now 50-something sisters bonded to Asha'man in and about the world with Randland. And they're going to have to do this so that they can make a circle, because this is serious shit. We need to think a little bit ahead, and we will not let Elida know of this plan. She can find out when it's too late, type of thing. Reds is realizing even Elida is a red, but she's nuts. Like, let's not even involve her.
Well, they even say here she's not red, so we don't need to tell her.
Yes.
And the Reds apparently see their leader, the highest, as an equal to the Eminency.
Yes.
So
they
will follow Chitama.
I think the Reds see themselves as equal to everything. They have
better than or equal to. Greater than.
Greater than and equal to. They're reading a letter from Shaido and Durley, who is wrote the letter as if she's addressing Galina. She is telling them that she's in charge of all the sisters of Carian, that Logan is no longer gentle and has been healed, that Tevane has arrived with an Asha'man as a warder.
No, that Tovine has arrived as the warder of an Asha'man.
Yeah, or the other way around. We've got that she swore a oath of fealty to the Dragon Reborn, Randall Thor, and they were stilled and healed by a man called Dharma Flynn. And they this girl is on crack cocaine. What is she talking about? But there's a lot of discussion about how this seems like a very rational person writing the letter and not a person that is on crack cocaine. It sounds insane, but perhaps it is true. Things are weird.
Tutama accepts it.
Yeah, totally.
It's happened, guys. Move on.
Deal with it. As I mentioned, they're going to move forward with their plan. Elida will not know about it. The bonding of the warders I've mentioned. So Pevara now has a full plate of tasks on hand, because what Tsutsama doesn't know is that she's also on the side dealing with the instruction from Elida, which was false instruction and misunderstood instruction, to hunt the Black Ajah, which has actually been successful, because now they've outed 4 sisters already, and they have learned that there is a very big meeting, the High Council, the High Sept, whatever the heck you want to call them.
Supreme Council,
that's going to play out. And as Pevara is excused and Chavindra goes her own way, she bumps into Yukiri, and this becomes the big point of discussion. Like, oh shit, this is happening. What is our plan? Yukiri has already crunched the numbers. It's a 19v13 battle that's going to play out, but maybe they can, in their hubris, we can eliminate the entire Black Ajah in one blow. Lol. Not quite. Anyway, they also share news with each other. So it's interesting to see at this level with Pevara and Yukiri, who is, and I'd remind you, not from the same Ajahs, they are sharing news and they are working together and they're sharing the same news. So there's a confirmation of the events that's coming out of Carian, because their letters acknowledge the same things.
But they're the Black Ajah hunters, right? Like, they are super tight.
Yeah,
there's someone from each Ajah in that group. And they are definitely working together ahead of all this
Cian rounds
nonsense.
Yeah, sorry. So Cian rounds on them with more news and more letters. That's all that's happening, because no one is leaving the tower, so everything has to come to them. They're very dependent on the internet connection of pigeons that they have. So yeah, there's a lot of repeating of the news. So it's again a confirmation of everything. But Cian has been tasked with finding evidence that Alviarin is a traitor and she wrote letters to Rand trying to deal with Rand behind her back. So there's another Alviarin instruction from Elida that is to pin her for something that is not even relevant, but it's going to play into the bigger scheme of this Black Ajah expose that everyone's talking about.
So do they deduce here that because they had misinterpreted the direction from Elida, that it's back on the table that Elida could be Black Ajah?
Well, Tsutsama seems to think it completely.
Tsutama?
I don't
Does
know.
she know about? She doesn't know the
No,
Black
she
Ajah
doesn't know.
hunting is
Sorry,
happening at all.
Siane. One of the Yukiri, one of them thinks that Elida is of the Black. I can't even remember
It's
now.
hard to keep track, bro. I get it.
Okay.
Someone's
Siane-
convinced.
Siane is the one that was asked by Elida originally to start the search, the one that approached Pevara. Yukiri is the sitter for the Yellows, I think, who's really small.
Small, yep, diminutive.
Oh no, she's green. She's actually the
So I
Captain
go
General
open up
of
the book
Green Ajah.
and have a look at this chapter.
But I can't remember. It's a while ago now, but one of them sort of goes, well, okay, we thought that Elida could not be Black Ajah because she asked us to hunt the Black Ajah. Now it turns out Siane misinterpreted the message and she realizes, oh shit, this means that Elida could still be Black Ajah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, that's the end of that point of view over there. A very interesting point of view, a very dislikable people that
Except
is
for
doing
Pevara.
likable things.
Yeah.
And Yukiri. I like Yukiri as well.
Oh, Yukiri, completely. I'm won over by Yukiri from the get-go. Pevara being red, not so much. Siane.
But she's the cool red, remember? She's the one that doesn't
The
have an
only
issue with
cool
doesn't
red.
have an issue with waters. I know that, but still.
And she was super friendly with Siane when the Ajahs were at each other's throats and Siane came to her room to tell her about the Black Ajah hunt originally.
Actually,
she was super
I
welcoming
should change
and
my
accommodating.
opinion a bit of Pevara.
Pevara's
She's cool. She's good because, especially in this point of time in the tower where there is this huge, and we'll get to it in later this episode with Egwene going back into the tower, seeing this break,
The schisms,
the massive schisms between the Ajahs. That you still have at least these sitters working together on a much higher level, apart from the leaders of their, I want to say houses, Ajahs,
Ajahs.
who are not working together.
Actually, the leaders of the Ajahs are working together. They are the ones that started the plot of the two young sitters. That's a different plot. They are
Plot
working
of power,
together.
not a plot of,
It's a plot of reunification. They want to ease the reunification of the hall when the rebels come back to the tower.
Oh, yeah, okay.
With the easily replaced sitters, like the ones they can control for now. And when they come back, there's obvious ones to take out so that the old sitters can come back into their substantive roles. Joe, you got anything to say about the Pevara chapter?
Fuck no. I read this 6 weeks ago and never again. This is all news to me that Willie's telling me. Thanks for the recap.
This is all Tana Fear's plan to bond the Asha'man as warders. And she went to Pevara. Pevara's gone to Tama. Yeah, which is cool. And she sends Pevara and Javindra, who's here, and Tana and some other sisters, I think.
This Tsutsama, is that her name? The new highest?
Tutsama.
Is there an S there somewhere?
It's TSU, Tsutama. She's named after, according to Robert Jordan, after a tsunami and wrath with a W. Tsutama Wrath, because she's angry. And she is like a force, like here, she's belligerent in her.
I dislike her intensely. That's all I remember from this point of view. Not a fan.
We read about her in
looks
New Spring.
great next to her.
She is the one that approaches Moiraine just before she's raised to the Shawl and raises the subject of who was to inherit the Sun Throne in Cairhien after the death of Laman Damodred. And ever thought, asked Moiraine, did you ever think of becoming queen perhaps yourself? She had been a sitter for more than 20 years until she was removed, punished and exiled by the Amyrlin Marathon Jane for the Red Ajah involvement in gentling male channelers outside of the Tower laws. So she was caught up in the blowback from the vileness. Along with her, also two other red sitters, Tovine, who was sent to the Black Tower, and Lyrene Doirelin suffered the same fate. they were sent to like it was 17 years that they spent on a farm, and they paid heavy penances and stuff like actually I
Actually,
think
didn't mention
stuff,
anything
hard
about that,
labor and that sort of
she
stuff
came
as
back
well.
from exile to take over and become
She came back from an exile.
physician.
Elida reinstated her. When Elida took over, she reinstated Tutama. But Tutama believed to some degree that Elida was involved enough in the vileness to have also, she should also have been punished for it.
She wasn't.
So unlike Loreen and Tovine, Tutama considered the possibility of taking some sort of vengeance on the entire Red Ajah and even the entire White Tower. So Tutama is back, leading the Red Ajah, just full of hate, just hating everyone around her for what was done to her before. So maybe that gives you a bit of insight into why she is so immediately dislikable. She comes across as that person.
She's also
Pevara?
coming across to me as pretty logical. She's not reacting.
She gets to the point.
Yeah. She's not reacting to the statements that she's reading in like an Elida fashion or in a.
Yeah.
Like Elida is actually painting the red. You get Leandrin, you get Elida, you get Galina Caspan and Katrina Rudden, and those that paint the red really badly. But there's also a few in there that's cool. I sided with the red because I feel that we've got to keep the world safe from men breaking it again.
Even Tana Fear, like who, when we read about her the first time, when she goes to Saladar and she tries to convince Nynaeve and Elaine to come back to the White Tower with her, and she's very dismissive of the rebels. You read about her then, you're like, oh, okay, cool. She's the antagonist in the situation. We're siding with the rebels, so we don't like her. But when she came to Pevara in that other chapter that we read, where she said, okay, look, I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to bond Asha'man as warders. I was like, okay, props, Tana. A very practical thing. You can put your hatred of men in general aside.
I think we sold the idea that all Reds have a hatred of men, but Pevara is one of those that change it, that said, like, I wouldn't mind taking a warder. It's just, it's more cultural now, like, you just can't bring them in yet.
This letter from Seychelle that we're reading here is the thing that we spoke about briefly when we were talking about, was Seychelle under Varen's compulsion when she swore the oath to Rand? And I think she was not, because at the time that Varen was compelling the other sisters, she was still stilled, and Dama Flynn healed her later. And she swore her oath to Rand not under compulsion, despite being from the Red Ajah. And this is this letter where she was sort of begging the Ajah at the highest, who she thought was Galina at the time, to just forgive her for doing this, but she thought that it is what she would have to do, and she will be with Rand until the last battle. Pretty bold for a Red. I don't expect you guys to have the answer to this question, but I was really confused by, or intrigued by, Javindra, who's sitting next to Pevara in front of Tutama, says something to, or gets told something by Tutama, and then she sort of hides a smile that Pevara notices. And I was just thinking, what does Javindra have to smile about? Because she was sort of reprimanded in the moment, I think. Don't know.
No clue.
I'll correct myself now and spare myself a callback. Yukiri is not the Captain General of the Green Ajah. It's Adalorna that's the Captain General of the Green Ajah, who is someone that they run into.
I thought Yukiri was yellow, so...
Yeah, I thought my gut instinct was yellow, which is why I said yellow originally, and you were right. They name a couple of the Black Ajah sisters that they've interrogated, and there's one that they've said the one other that she knows outside of her heart, because each Black Ajah sister knows the sisters in her heart. They know two sisters, and then they know one other from a different heart. That the one that Maris is this latest one that they caught. That her one other is with the rebels. I was like, oh, I wonder if it's Shiriam. I wonder how many Black Ajah sisters are with the rebels. And then I go look it up. It's 50. There are 50 Black Ajah sisters with the rebels. Okay, so yeah. Could be anyone. Yeah. Okay, all right. On the theme of Black Ajah sisters, our next point of view is from everyone's favorite Black Ajah sister, Alviarin. Vil, tell us what your favorite girl is doing.
Getting beaten. That's what she's doing every day. She's taking a walk back from a beating to her rooms through the White Ajah house. And everyone's giving her the looks of being that person that drawn disrepute into
a
the
pariah.
Company. A pariah. Yeah, because she did. She lost the stole, and that is frowned upon heavily at this moment. But as she moves, she overhears conversations, and being white, the logical arguments using arithmetic and method and formulas to all come to the same conclusion that shit's not good. And she laughs a bit within herself, like, finally they realize shit's not good. It's pretty fucking awful. So she enjoyed that bit. Now, Talene has disappeared. She bolted. She saw an opportunity. She saw the threat around her and decided it's time to go. And one of Alviarin's most meaningful tasks now that she wants to execute herself is to get her found, questioned, and executed.
She hasn't actually run away though, right? Like the Black Ajah hunters have her, they caught her out, they made her re-swear the oaths and stuff, and now they're hiding her so that the Black Ajah don't find her.
But Alviara thinks that
from her point of view, Alviara just assumes she ran away.
Now, she's got a couple of notes with her. She gets to her room. There's an elaborate deciphering book that she has had over the years, kept behind lock and key, that she uses, and all of the news is about the meeting of the Supreme Council. So she's like, yep, this is good, and it confirms what Seanchan and Yukiri, the news that they have as well. So now we're getting this confirmation again that this meeting is happening. But she's also, one of the messages is that Seanchan and Yukiri has since also started warding their rooms at night when they sleep. So they are getting their guard up heavily because they know the Black Ajah is there. So it's also spoiling a little bit of their ability to influence events. But throughout the chapter, she fingers her forehead. And as you can remember, old Shadar Haran had tapped her on the forehead and marked her as her own. And no matter what she does, she keeps getting that finger up to her forehead. This meeting is coming, and shit's bound to go down, and it is going to be good. And she strokes her forehead again. End of that short, very little point of view.
End.
She's the head of the Supreme Council.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when Alviarin returned to the tower after her absence, and she walks into Elida's study, and there's a bunch of sisters there, and Elida tells her to shut up and stand in the corner. She's like, "Huh? What's happened here?
What's happened here?"
She notices a look between Yukiri and Doesine, and because of that, she's like, "There's something up. Something is up there. They're not from the same Ajah. Why are they looking to each other?" So
that's why she had them watched. And that's why she knows now that they've got the wards, and they are aware that they need to be very careful.
Alviarin also thinks to herself when she's walking through the tower, this tower is now so busted it's beyond mending. But you underestimate Egwene Elvir, the greatest Amyrlin that's ever lived.
Dun, dun, dun.
Can't wait for that. She's
of downstairs right now, undermining everything you've done.
It's coming.
It's basically like they're all sitting at the poker table and everyone's heavily stacked. And then this one person goes everything in on this little hand with all that they have left, and then they win. That's Egwene coming into the equation. It's like, oh, how the chips have shifted on the table.
I have a buddy here in Bellingen who's reading the series for the first time, and he's just finished the whole White Tower attack from the Seanchan with Egwene standing in that hole in the side of the tower shooting down Raken, and apparently there's an account afterwards she's killed 34 Raken and 27 Damane, and everyone's like, what, that really happened? I thought that was just rumor. It's like, no, that's what Egwene did while being a captive with the novices, because you remember she takes all the novices and she links with them. We see all that stuff starting in this prologue, which is awesome. Okay. Sticking with Black Ajah sisters, let's shift focus from Alviarin to everyone's second favorite Black Ajah sister, Galina Casban. Joe, what is Galina up to?
Galina's black? Oh. She is
it's the
she's
ace
living
of
life.
spades.
she's living her best life, Moritz. Like, she's... What are you
Out
talking
for
about?
a ride in the countryside.
Out for a ride in the forest on, like, a stolen horse.
God.
She's even smiling. She's got a little grin on her face. It rained earlier, so the air is nice and fresh. I don't know why anyone would think she's having a hard time. But yeah, it's just a brief moment. Luckily, we all know it won't last because she doesn't deserve happiness. She's allowed these freedoms of just riding out every now and then because Tharava, wow.
Hey.
Come on,
Wow.
mouth. Do your work. I've only had like 4 sips of beer. It can't be this. Knows she will return in the hope that she'll lift the oath of obedience from her one day. She knows she's got her. So, and also she's bound by oath to be obedient, and she told her to come back. So there's that. So she thinks that maybe this is Galina, not Tharava, that the oath rod in the tower could also do the job of lifting this oath that she's under right now, but she's not sure. Like, so we were discussing this in our podcast. Like, can one oath rod undo another oath rod? Like, not even the Aes Sedai know, because they've only ever seen one oath rod. There's no precedence for this, so she can't take that risk. She has to make sure she gets this oath rod. Suddenly, Gaul pops out of the trees and grabs her off her horse. Yoink! She screams at these Shaido fools, because she thinks it's Shaido. So close to the Shaido camp, it must be, to let her go. Don't they know that she is Gaishane to Savannah? Everyone knows I'm Gaishane to Savannah. He's with Neald, and they are out hunting Gaishane to question. They talk in front of her because they don't give a fuck what she thinks, and mention Perrin. And she's like, oh, Perrin, Ibara? This is getting interesting. Now her mind's racing. They are so close to the Shaido camp, and if Perrin's here, he might get killed. Then she'll lose her leverage over fire. All my points of view seem to be these women just like having these mind-racing moments, just trying to claw at something. What's going on? Like, how am I going to fix the situation? If he's this close, maybe he gets attacked. Maybe they find him and they kill Perrin, and then I don't have any leverage over Fail, and all my plans go to shit. How am I going to force her to get the oath rod? Blah, 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 blah. Gaul and Neald tie her up and throw her over her horse and take her back to the camp, talking about gateways and make one of those holes in the air. And she's like, what are these fucking crazy people talking about? It means nothing to her. So she's freaking out now, and they are taking her back to the camp. She's thinking, oh shit, this must be days away, if they haven't been found yet. Like, I'm going to get into so much shit for not going back to camp.
The Rava's going to be so cross.
I'm going to be in so much trouble. Like, I'm never going to get back before sundown. So, and she knows Tharava is going to punish her badly. She does not accept excuses. Never has she accepted any excuse in the past. Even getting kidnapped is probably not going to be good enough. But there's nothing she can do about that right now, so she calms her mind. She's got a little bit of Aes Sedai experience behind her. What can she do now about this situation? She's got to start making plans, about what she's going to say when she meets Perrin and stop him from ruining her plans. Before she can even make one plan, though, she's at the camp. She's like, what the fuck? And an established camp. They take her off the horse and pull her hoodie back, and she's like, there's like wooden, log cabins built, and she mentions the color of the pine has changed, and that only happens. Like, how do you know so much about pine? I don't buy it. But anyway, these wooden huts have been there a while, so she's like, how have they not been found yet? They've been here for at least weeks, and no one's found them. I'm like, I was literally out for a ride around the camp. No time to think. It's off for a chat with old Lord Perrin Golden Eyes. She strides into, they take her to his tent, of course, so she strides in there like she owns the place. She's like, all right, game face, let's go. And as she enters, she hears a little bit of the last bit of a conversation about arranging a meeting with people. Yes, it's very difficult, apparently, to arrange meetings with Seanchan. She's trying to figure out which one Perrin is. So she's never seen him. She knows of this Perrin Ibara, obviously, through being an Aes Sedai and hanging out with Fail. Surely not that giant, well-dressed man with his back towards her that everyone is deferring to. Can't be him. She recognizes Berylane. She's like, oh shit, I know that one. Luckily, she never ran into her personally, so Berylane doesn't know her. So her secret's still safe. And Berylane is the one who informs this giant man that his visitor has arrived, and she looks cautious. Well, yeah. She's about to use her forked tongue to Aes Sedai everybody when Perrin suddenly just looks over his shoulder at her, and his golden eyes freeze the words in her throat. She's like, oh shit, this dude's badass. I love Perrin, man. He's so awesome.
It's so good.
Perrin takes in the bonds. He just looks up and down. Neald tells him that she struggled a bit, but Gaul took care of it, so he didn't have to do anything. And she wonders, didn't have to do anything? Who the fuck are you that you thought you could have done anything against an Aes Sedai anyway? And then she notices another man in the tent dressed in a black coat with silver pins on his collar, and she's like, oh shit, I've seen these guys before. I was at Dumai's Wells when these bastards jumped out of thin air and meat grinded everybody. So now she's even more stressed, but credit to her. She doesn't deserve much credit, but she keeps her Aes Sedai face. She hides her fear of well for everyone except Perrin, of course. Yes. Gaul tells Perrin she claims to know Savannah, and he's like, interesting. A friend of Savannah, you say, but dressed in Guy Shane white? But silk white, the jewels. There's a mystery afoot here, but still, he sums her up in a second and goes, yeah, but she's terrified. She's like, how do you know I'm terrified? Is my Aes Sedai face not working? But no, of course he can smell her. She starts her all Aes Sedai spiel, like, oh, the tower has its own plans. Like, what are you doing there? She's like, no, you can't question me. I have my own plans. It's unwise to meddle in the affairs of Aes Sedai, etc., etc. But Perrin just looks at her until she mentions that Fail and Queen Aleandre are under her protection, that she has a plan, and his presence here endangers that plan, and Fail and Queen Aleandre. But all Perrin heard was Fail. The rest was... and he asks, is she well? Have you seen her? And she's like, yes. She replies, that everything is well, and starts again with her warnings, but he just cuts her off and calls her over. He's like, yeah, okay, come look at this map. She's like, wow, okay, I know he's a country bumpkin, but he's got to learn some respect. He's talking to Aes Sedai here. Berylane comes over to her and gives her a glass of wine. He's like, yeah, you got to excuse him. He doesn't, his lack of manners and whatnot. He's not very keen on Aes Sedai. And she says, we've got other Aes Sedai in the camp. Of course, Honora's with me, my Aes Sedai. There's two others. Do you want to meet with them and have a chat? She's in her mind going, fuck no. But on the outside, it's like, takes a sip of wine, all relaxed, and goes, no, it's okay. They're on their own business. I'm on my own business. No need. I'll pass, thanks. Galina takes the opportunity to try convincing Berylane of the dangers. She's like, well, Perrin's not listening. Let me speak to Berylane. But Berylane just laughs her off, like, nah, it's okay, we'll be all right. No Shaido patrols are going to find us. We're 3-4 days ride away from the Shaido camp. So there's no danger of the scouts finding us. And she's like, fuck, 3-4 days? And now she's like putting everything together, and they've got gateways, they're traveling. Like, she's been touched by the One Power, the male half of the One Power. Oh, gross, cooties. So Perrin interrupts them. He's like, are you guys done chatting? Can I have this Aes Sedai back? Come over here and look at this map. Look here. Hodge. Oh, that's Polish. Sorry. Hodge tutaj means come here. She's impressed at all the detail and accuracy of the map. She's like, holy shit, this is a pretty good map. You guys have been observing the camp for some time. It's like even the latest clans that have joined them are incorporated. So like, wow. Okay, so these guys they know what they're about. She's like, but again, like, don't attack. She's constantly saying, don't attack, don't come near. There are hundreds of wise ones who use the One Power. Like 400, 100. How many Shaido are there? 150,000 or some shit?
Oh, don't make me quote the number, Joe.
Oh,
That's a good
100,000? I'm sure it's 100,000 at least, yeah. So she's constantly saying, like, you'll never survive. You've got a little few winged guards. You'll be dead in a second. But there's no convincing her, or Perrin. Perrin, just looks at her again until she's finished with her little rant, and he goes, point at the map where Fael's sleeping. And she's like, no, I can't do that because they never sleep in the same place. Just lying and lying and lying, talking shit all the time. And there's no way to change his mind, she realizes. Like, this guy's laser focused on his Fael and whatever. Now she realizes, like, oh shit, Fael needs to die as soon as possible when I get back to camp. There's no way my lies I'm going to get busted.
Yeah, it was because of the lies, right? So, like, just is her thinking that if Fail survives and gets to Perrin and it ever comes out that the Gaishain are not moved around all the time, it would mean that she not only lied to Perrin, but she's an Aes Sedai that can lie, and therefore will be outed as Black Ajah.
And not only that they can't move around, because she's saying, no, I've got a plan. Fail and Alejandra are under my protection. I'm a friend of Savannah. She's not. Like, all of that's bullshit. And, Fail will know that.
She's made Fail think that she's protecting them. Or that's an angle that she's used with him. Yeah, the friend of Savannah thing is a stretch.
She's a captive just like the rest of them. So everything she said since entering this tent is bullshit. Maybe not bullshit, like the 400 channelers, wise one channelers, that's true. Yeah. All right. But anyway, she can't let her lies be found out. She's lied too much. She can't even keep track of all the lies. It's bound to come out. If Fail gets back to Perrin and any of this comes out, they're going to bust her for being Black Ajah. So she tries one last time to try and buy some time for herself to get that oath right. So by telling Perrin just to give me a few more days, give me a week. Can you give me a week before you make any moves? And he's like, listen, I can give you a few more days, but I can't make any promises. And if it's up to me, I'd be there now. I'd be storming the gates. He shifts quickly to conditions in the camp. Like, okay, not enough talking about that. Have you observed? We've observed like drunkenness amongst the guys. Is that like common? Is everybody drunk? Do the wise ones get drunk? She's like, no. The wise ones only drink water. Ha, cool. Just what I wanted to hear. Yeah, wise ones are not going to be wasted. So she tries to warn him again, but he ignores her and asks if the Shaido go inside the walls often. And she's like, all right, she's had enough now. Stop ignoring me and treating me like this. I am Aes Sedai, and you will show me the respect that I deserve. Just looks at her. No, I won't. So he's like, all right, just what is the question? He asks her the question again. Do the Shaido go inside the walls? Like, just ignores her flat out.
Yeah, totally.
She's just like, fuck, no, they don't. But sometimes they do, and then she's like trying to, make little caveats. But sometimes they'll come in groups of 2 or 3.
It's still
trying
dangerous.
to make him see. Yeah, like, dude,
don't just
you'll never
gateway
be able
in
to
there.
trap them all because they might be there or they might not. You'll never know, and blah blah blah. He's like, whatever. I'm doing what I'm doing. So Perrin just nods. Like, all right, cool to know. And then he tells her to tell Fail and friends to head to the fortress on the north side of the town on the day that she sees fog on the ridges and hears the wolves howl by daylight. And Galina's like, wolves by daylight? Is this guy loco? He's like, yes. He's looking for Fail. Perrin offers her supper. It's like, hey, it's almost supper time. You want to hang out with us, have some wine and some food?
Grab a bite?
You want to grab a bite? She's like, no. I should go. It's getting late. Inside freaking the fuck out. She's like, yeah, sorry, but I have a beating to attend. She asks to be taken back to the camp as soon as possible. By gateway, please, drop me off as close as possible. And Perrin sends her off with Neald, but before she leaves, she asks Perrin to punch her in the face. Perrin's like, of course not going to punch her in the face. But Berylane is super keen. She's like, oh, I'll punch you.
Super keen.
Ooh, I can hit you. And she does a good job. She kind of blacks out for a second with one of the slaps. I'm thinking when I was reading this, like maybe channeling that anger towards Anura. Like, I wish I could slap Anura, but I'll slap you instead. It really winds her up. She slaps her twice, because she wants to look like she's been beaten up and kidnapped, and maybe that'll get her out of some trouble. 9. Neald leaves her just over the ridge from the Shaido camp. But even so close, and even on horseback, it's too late to get back before sunset. And she was right. The Rava did not accept her excuses. Even the bruised face, that was for nothing. And during the extensive beatings that evening, all she can think of is killing Fail and her friends, getting the oath rod, and she'll be free. Oh no, Michael.
No. Sweet summer child.
And that's the end of that.
Shoo. Villy, did you have anything you wanted to add in there about your best mate?
Now, I'm not overly fond of Galina Casban. I mean,
understatement of the year.
Said everyone.
She deserves everything that she's getting, even her being late. I was very fond of Berry Lane. I mean, we do know that Perrin is fond of Berry Lane. I'm fond of Berry Lane. And that smack that made her see stars was not punch, not smack. She decked her.
PK.
PK, it was good. I like that. But she's lied herself into corners there the whole way through. So, well, we know it's not going to really trap her. She's going to go where she's going to go.
Oh, yeah, she's trapped already. It's like those lies are the least of her issues.
Yeah.
Like, never going to come up again. Never going to be an issue.
No.
So
But of course
a
she
lot
doesn't
of
know that at
desperate
this point.
attempts there. And I feel like Perrin should have, but no, he shouldn't have because he hasn't spent a lot of time with Aes Sedai. He's not wise to these things.
Also, he doesn't know that she can lie. So everything she says, he has to take at face value because even the Aes Sedai can't imagine Black Ajah, right? So like Perrin, who tries to avoid Aes Sedai at all costs, certainly is not even considering that possibility.
No, but I mean, great Gaul. So big, so strong. She just nothing.
And all that, like, ignoring that he does, whenever because she does this thing where she, like, on the page, it's a fucking cavalcade of words. Like, she just, like, she starts talking and it's just like this, it's almost so obvious to the reader. It's actually written well because you can see how she's making up for her position of weakness by acting as if she has all the information and all the power and all the authority. So everybody just listen to me. I'm just going to tell you everything here. But it's so pitiful because she's trying it on Perrin, who's just like a rock in a river. It's all just washing straight over him. And then when, like you said, Joe, like when she's done, it's just like, so do they go into the town or not? Not even acknowledging what she said.
Yeah.
But it started with, like I said, it's like starting with Gaul and then Neald who's with him. It's like, pay no heed to this woman. Go carry on. Take it back.
Yeah.
And they know she's Aes Sedai from the second they see her because they can see her face. They know she's Aes Sedai. And they're like,
Yeah. But Neald's like,
tie her up,
do anything.
hog tie her, throw her on the back of a horse.
Sack over the head. She's riding on a horse in the beginning. The horse, she called it Swift because one day it will swiftly carry her to freedom.
Not happening.
Starts with a daydream, ends with a daydream. Never going to happen.
Ends with a beating.
She thinks to herself, a lifetime, so it's like what she's like fearing the most, a lifetime of being Tharava's plaything and the target for her temper, surrogate to be beaten whenever Tharava raged against Savannah. Bleakness was not strong enough to describe her feelings on that. Horror was more like it. She feared she might go mad if that happened.
Well, she just did a little bit of... Is she a dreamer? Is she a truther? What is that other thing?
The foretelling.
At the end of the chapter, when they talk about what happened after she gets back to the Shaido camp, she thinks what followed easily equaled her nightmares, and it lasted much longer. Oh. Jesus. It's tough days.
It's like it's a lot of Black Ajah. I mean, like Dark Friend nonsense going on here. Like the same thing happened with Suroth. Now she's like, oh fuck, the Empress is dead. Like now I'm in the shit. Now Semirog is standing in front of me, giving me orders, trying to put me on the crystal throne. It's like, do these Dark Friends not realize that at some point shit is gonna happen? Like
if you're actively trying to climb the ranks, you're gonna encounter the higher ranks.
Exactly. The hens are coming home to roost at some point. You're gonna have to face the music. Like, and they're all so shocked it's happening. And why is it happening to me? And I don't want this to happen. Like, yeah, you do.
Well, I mean, come on, they've been sold this dream. Like, yeah, we operate in the shadows, and we get cool. You get cool like company perks, and every now and then you get
that's
to go
the dental
to,
plan that everyone's going
up
for.
to the Blight and. You get timeshare, and you don't really do much. Honestly, it's more like a holiday club, and then all of a sudden they join this holiday club, and then like real shit starts happening. It's like, oh shit, what did I sign up for today? I didn't come here to shovel shit.
Those chalets in Thakandar are not as glamorous as I was sold in the brochure.
No, they look completely different.
And soul stealing.
Yeah. Soul-stealing swords, screaming all night outside my window.
Oh, yeah. And just like the cloud cover is highly disconcerting.
Yeah. I was promised 300 days of sun a year. It's not happening. So, yeah.
The name that Galina gives you as her sort of fake name is Elise.
I was like
Yes.
very marked by that, same as a Moraine.
Very close to Elise. Did Berelain ever encounter Moraine using a false name? I
No.
don't think so, hey.
I'm very certain that that's a very
That was a
hard
very
no.
quick answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
No.
I was like, whoa, that's a big chance. Like, I mean, Perrin, though, has. Perrin?
Yes, but Berelain is the one that doesn't notice. She smiles when she hears it, so it might just be that she knows she's using a fake name, and it's not the name itself that she's recognizing.
But
you're
there's
right,
no
Will,
sort of link
Per-
to who uses that name.
No.
But I was surprised that Perrin didn't pick up on it because Moraine used
another
Elise.
one rolls eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's pronunciation
Maybe
because this
Perrin
was
never
she uses
there.
what in the Two Rivers right in the beginning.
Did she use Elise?
She was Moraine there, though.
She used Moraine.
I think she was Moraine.
Yeah, she didn't use a pseudonym.
But when I think they do in Berlin, when they stay over in the one night and they all dance in the common room and stuff, I think she's Lady Elise.
Lady Elise. 20 years
Maybe that's
later,
Lady
still
Alice.
using Lady Elise.
Lady Alice, yes, Joe.
That's
Elise
Alice,
is
and this
one
one's
with the E at the
Elise.
end.
With it.
Yes.
It's just because we can't pronounce things properly.
When she said that and Perrin sort of addresses her again, he just calls her Elise.
Yeah.
Not Elise Sedai or Lady Elise or anything. Just like, so Elise, look at this map. Just does not care. Okay, there's another line that she gives where I think it's when she says, no, the wise ones don't drink, they only drink water. And then she thinks to herself, she's always amused when the truth serves her purposes. No, actually not. It served Perrin's purposes. Wrong again. Okay. That is everything from me on the Dark Friends, which brings us to our final point of view and takes us to the other end of the spectrum of the light, away from the dark and towards the pinnacle of the light, our favorite Amerlin seat, Egwene. Vili, what is happening with Egwene?
Last time we were with Egwene, we left her in a dark place, floating in cold water, going for a swim. Now she's waking up from that adventure, or misadventure, and she finds herself in a stagecoach, where she's being transported with some very foul Aes Sedai flanking her and sitting in front of her. As she lifts her head, she starts recognizing a few, and it becomes clear that Catherine Alrudden is one of those. Catherine, as she notices Egwene is regaining consciousness, there was talk of you gave it too much of the stuff, yada, 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 so that we learned that she's on the Fork Route trip, which makes you kind of like I feel after my food allergy, drinking a lot of, what's that medicine called? Antihistamines that make me super drowsy. That's what Egwene is feeling like. And but as she lifts her head, she gets a PK, proper clap from Catherine Alrudden. Falana is there, and she exclaims that it's actually Falana that exclaims that there was too much of that given. Pritel is a third sister that's named, and Egwene finds it important to remember the names of the people that captured her for some or whatever reason. The first thing she says is, who betrayed me? Not really any answers that is forthcoming. What is forthcoming is Catherine's hand yet again, but her hand is caught mid-slap by Falana, and a proclamation that, hey, we still Aes Sedai. We don't do it this way. And then, all of a sudden, all of these sisters are in the glow of Saidar and in standoff mode. And Egwene's like, wow, how far has this fallen? Now, I forgot to mention, the state of affairs is immediately recognized by Egwene as the stench of the garbage piling up in the streets of Tarvalon, and she's like, WTF, Elida. Like, what the fuck have you been doing in this place? That the garbage is piling up in the street. One of the other sisters that's identified in there is Berisha and Barasine. So that makes up the total.
Loads of them.
Bad ones, not them good ones. Those are the bad apples. Berisha wants to know what Egwene has done to the harbour chain, and how are we going to undo it? And she's like, well, you can dig it out and sell it, because it's Quendia now.
Yeah.
So if you use power on it, you know what it's going to do. It's going to make it stronger. So, but then I don't know who's going to have any use or money to buy such a chunk of Quendia. So you're fucked. She didn't use the "you're fucked" part, but it's implied. Catherine then slaps her again. So she's getting Dricus Duplessis right now. They eventually come to a stop, and all of them get out, still holding on to the power, I must add. And guess who meets them at the stairs of the Princess Castle? Nicola Treehill. And she's like, oh shit, look who they caught. And Egwene's like, disc, you fool idiot. Question mark, was Nicola the betrayer, or is it the red herring that is thrown in front of us?
Are you asking us?
We talked about this.
No,
At length.
the ether.
It's Nicola. Yes.
Nicola's attending Elida, and she is told she gives the orders that Elida sent down, that Egwene is to be taken to Silviana, the mistress of novices. But in a panic that she sees Egwene, she profusely apologizes and thought that she was going to gain a lot more development by running away.
Yeah,
no,
Nicola.
you're a traitor. We know.
Doesn't make it better.
No. Anyway.
But I thought I was going to get something special over here.
Nope.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. But still calling her mother. Egwene is then escorted to the mistress of novices, but before that there's still a standoff between the remaining red sisters and the one grey, saying, oh, you're going to hang out, and then that's where it's sort of like, I forget her name now, was it Falana, this is the grey, and it's like, cool, I'll back out of this. And it's kind of like a chuckle between the red sisters, like, haha, ever victorious red, we are the tyranny of the tower now. They are met by another red sister in the hallways, and they learn that there's a wilder that was caught in the other harbour that calls herself Liane, Sheriff of the Green Ajah. And that's where Egwene says, oh, clever Liane, because she had Liane, however you want to pronounce it, she had done all the inverting of the weaves and all of that, so they couldn't see her. She couldn't see her flows and all the rest. And how did she do this? And then she's like, well, question her. You'll realize that it's Liane. She's been healed from her stilling. Ask her things that only she would know. Like, be smart about it. Don't be a dumbass.
Yeah. Don't make me explain to you how to do your job.
Slaps giving. Let's go about that. It's commented on, oh, look at how she stands like a queen being escorted. And I'm like, go Egwene. Like, you're not a prisoner. You're royalty. They finally then take her through to the instructed direction that she's got to go to Silviana's study. And Catherine is instructed to let go of the weave of the shield that has been placed on her, just for safety's sake now, because the forkroot might start being worn off. And she assumes control of Egwene, and she instructs Catherine to, vamos, out the room, my show now. Catherine's not stoked, but power rules, and she's got to go. New surprise here is that Elida has decided that Egwene will not be stilled and executed as Catherine O'Riordan had hoped, but she will be pegged down to novice level again, re-enrolled into the novice role. She will be dosed enough during the day with fork root and shielded at night so that she can restart her training, indoctrining, I'm going to say between air quotes, into the tower because she's just actually too powerful to lose. Thank God, Elida made one good decision.
But I think Elida also is making that decision like out of a spiteful thing. Like I think she wants to parade her around as
my
as
victory.
broken
I have gotten you, and
the trophy.
What we know that Elida doesn't make good decisions out of anything else that
As a
vanity and self. So Egwene reacts to that and says, "Well, I am Aes Sedai by the virtue of being raised to the Amyrlin seat, so I don't recognize your bullshit, bitch." And that means she gets herself written into the novice penance book for the first time. And Egwene laughs at that. And she's like, "What are you laughing at?" And she's like, "This, all of this." Sylviana and Egwene are equally stubborn, both of them. So we're having a clash of the titans that's being picked up over here. She's explained, as I mentioned, how the new normal is going to work. And then at the end of that, she's handed back to Katarine and Barasine, who's in waiting, and asked about her Aes Sedai ring. So she felt for a ring earlier on. She discovered that it's been removed from her finger. Barasine had taken it as a trophy. When she pulls it out of a little pouch, Egwene tried to snatch it, but Sylviana was first, and she's like, "I'm holding on to this until you are found fit to wear it again." At that point, Egwene finds it prudent to inform them, like, "Hey man, I've got dreaming with a capital D ability, and I have to tell you, like, irrespective of all of this, the tower is still number one." And she explains her dream about the candle, the tower, the flame, the ravens, knocking it, and all the rest. And they're like, "Bullshit, you know nothing. You're not a dreamer. We know everything. We're the red." And dismisses it outright. She's taken to her rooms, where she's kept under guard, and she acts as if she's just, no one is there. Gets ready for bed, because you know what happens when she goes to bed. She's going to tell Swan everything. And that's the end of the prologue.
It's the beginning of the great Egwene arc.
The best arc.
It's already great.
It's
like just how she is here.
Like her attitude, her demeanor, her... I mean, we're going to talk about this in the coming episodes through this book and the next. How great this is and how she's been built by the wise ones. I mean, we've preluded to this. I mean, there's been a lot of build-up to what is coming. But to see how she does it in just a wagon ride. Like, doesn't matter the slaps, doesn't matter the anger, doesn't matter that you write me up in the penance book right away. Like, bring it on.
Give me your best shot. Joe, did you have anything you wanted to say about our girl?
Could I quote from a book I recently acquired that seemed relevant for all the Black Ajah and Red Ajah? It's a book called Shit My Dad Says by Justin Halpern. It's like a story of all the quotes that his dad gave him over his life. And one of it was on dealing with bullies, which I thought was appropriate to our chapters. And like, his dad used to say, "You're going to run into jerk-offs, but remember, it's not the size of the asshole you worry about. It's how much shit comes out of them." I thought, damn Skippy.
Okay, awesome.
Nice.
Thanks, Dad.
Okay, let me see. I didn't have
Other than
much...
that, no. Nothing
I
else to
figured,
say.
Joe. You stop quoting that shit my dad says. That's probably it. I had a lot of the things that you called out already, Vil. I just was frustrated that Egwene didn't do the same things that Leanne did. She can also invert her weaves. She can also hide her ability to channel. Could have done that. Leanne managed, because Leanne was much slower than Egwene. Remember, Egwene did it instantaneously, but Leanne was found eventually when someone noticed something was going wrong. And then another thing, I said, I keep complaining about having to carry Egwene because she's all like limp from the forkroot. Do they all forget that they can channel? Like, just use you can do fucking magic. Like
Flows
use your
of air.
magic. Yeah. Now they're stumbling up the steps of the White Tower carrying a half limp Egwene between them. It's just comical.
I mean, so many times we've gone, did these people forget that they can do magic? It's just like, what?
Yeah.
I guess it's prudent to announce that the harbour chains aren't both fully Quindiar. One is
the one's
left
only halfway.
So I forgot to mention that.
One of them, Catherine or someone, was like, oh, okay, cool, so they failed, so it'll be fine. And she's like, well, actually, we'll see tomorrow when we let the other half down. I think only
It
very
me
small
down
vessels
like
will
a
actually
rabbit
be able
hole
to
of
get through
thinking
there.
of how chains turn into Quindiar. Because why didn't it go halfway from the bottom up? Like, okay, the whole thing is half Quindiar in the lengthwise. Why did it have to go from left to right? And what determines it? What makes it go left? Does it go right, left?
Maybe it radiates from the point where it touches.
Even more questions. Why didn't it go halfway all the way to the end and they just cut it so it falls in? So many questions. Or they were like one right at one end. Okay, I get it.
That's what I think. Also, like, the other Aes Sedai going, like, we can sell it. It's Quindiar. Like, it's a harbour chain. It's one solid piece now. How are you going to even move it?
You can't carry a 19-year-old girl up the stairs. How are you going to carry an entire harbour chain made of Quindiar?
I wonder how much Quindiar weighs. If you turn metal, it's probably lighter than metal now, isn't it?
Probably, but that chain is gigantic.
It covers a harbour wall. That's a significant amount of chain.
Each link is like 2 paces long or something. It's
something ridiculous, yeah.
One last little Egwene note. She is just like Aes Sedai to the bone. Her anger flares white hot when she feels her ring has been removed. So she goes to like turn the ring with her thumb. But then when, like, she's been captured, she's in the carriage and stuff, but when she feels her ring is gone, now she's mad. They took my ring? God damn you. How dare you?
Yeah.
So out of all that radness, did you guys remember to pick a favorite moment?
I sure
not.
did, and it
Okay,
is
Phil.
juicy.
Give it to us. Give us the juice.
I want to read it. I don't often read.
Squeeze in the juice!
I'm not.
Yes,
I'm not
read
a
it.
reader of out loud. Run. Oh wait, I got to do it in the voice. Run to Rosella and beg her to beat you soundly, Leandrin. And then Leandrin cries, "What, Leandrin?" And says, "Because you delayed telling me the general's messenger. Because you still call yourself I rather than Leandrin. Because you meet my eyes." She could not help hissing that. Leandrin had huddled herself with every word, and now she directed her eyes to the floor, as if that would mitigate her offense. "Because you question my orders instead of obeying. And last, because most importantly to you, because I wish you beaten. Now run and tell Rosella each of these reasons, so she will beat you well."
Goosebumps.
We do
Hurrah.
love a good comeuppance, don't we?
So good.
Well done, Villy. Because that's exactly how I pictured her, imagined her voice. Can't picture her voice.
That's
can
better
you?
than what I imagined.
Is it droll? Like, how do you
Exactly.
do a droll? Like, droll.
A
Speaking
drawl
of
is more
Tia.
like a Southern American.
No idea. I'm not even going to attempt it. We have a lot of American listeners to insult.
From
By
the
our-
South.
Horrible attempts at mimicking their accents.
We will not. But Vil, like I said at the time, like Leandrin has given us so many reasons to dislike her. So to see her like this, to see Galina go off with the Rava, to have Elida captured by the Rake, and like those are all sweet moments of
absolute
guess
yumminess. Like just
Yeah.
gooey. And I bet you all thought I was going to pick sword fight and...
Mm.
Chow, 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 bang, ching, ching.
I mean, I did think that.
Yep.
Full disclosure, I picked that.
I didn't even think about that.
Didn't you? Okay, Joe, let's hear yours.
No. Mine is Perrin and Galina's
Galina.
interaction. Just
It's very good.
giving zero shits about anything she says.
and how much she says. It's like this verbal diarrhea. She goes off on a rant. And Perrin's just I can imagine him just blinking at her and then carrying on again.
He's not listening. He's just waiting for her to finish.
Yes.
Are you done? Can you answer my questions? Can you come look at my map now? Berylane, are you guys done? I'm talking to this woman.
It's so good. It's a continuation of that theme that I've spoken about before, and that I'd always quoted that podcast of the dragon episode and Perrin and the power of saying no or something like that. And that focused mostly on some of the early books. I think it was up to book 4 or 5, and just how Perrin is dealing with the Aes Sedai even at that time, and he just refuses to be bullied by them. He is. It's one of those things, the more force they're applying to him, the harder they're trying to bully him, the more resolved he becomes to not give into it, which is great.
Yeah, I was talking to Christina about this yesterday, and it reminded me of Gandhi's methodologies against the English. It's non-violent, non-cooperation, except the first part is the non-violent part is not apt here, but the non-cooperation part.
Yes.
Just, I refuse.
Yeah, so
you can say what you want.
No. Anyway.
No.
Now my thing. Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of my thing, my favorite moment, like I said, is just straight up, I wrote down Galad killing Valda. Full stop.
Yeah. That whole point of view.
It's a cool fight and everything, and I almost got lost in just how cool the scene is, and just the occasion of the scene. Valda has been set up as this character that we despise as well, right? Pedro Nile, we could almost respect him, and then Valda organizes for his death. He's just a terrible, terrible person. Not to mention all the stuff he did to Morghese. So to have Galad be the one to avenge Morghese. And just kill him. He's not been beaten and he's run away, or he's been captured, he's in a cell. He's dead. He's gone. He's out of the story. No more Eamon Valda ever again. Thank you very much.
I mean,
moving on
in the
with our
same
lives.
time, through that beautiful section and that beautiful point of view, you go into this with your eye flaps on. I hate the Whitecloaks. They bad. Whitecloaks equals bad. But
Yes.
Galad is an honourable man. He's a Whitecloak. He does
Just more points for
uses
Galad on
their
this
law
reread, eh?
and does the right thing to take out their own leader, and does it beautifully so.
I'm a big
And
fan.
around him, all of the Whitecloaks applaud it. So you're going, and it's the same with the Seanchan, and I think this is going to be a topic throughout this book. Cool, this is cool. I like this.
Yes.
I mean, maybe that is a thing that we need to learn in life, in a broader sense. That
Look at us.
people are
maturing,
people, and
growing.
people are cool, and you can't label everyone with one rubber stamp, bad and good.
People are cool.
Yeah.
Right. I had some honorable mentions. My first honorable mention is just Berylane clocking Galina and then going, "Oh, I'm sorry, was that too hard?" No, Berylane, it was perfect. And then my last one was the last thought that Egwene has about her position in the tower. She thinks to herself, she did not consider herself a prisoner either. She was just carrying the battle into the heart of the tower itself. If she had lips here or there, she would have smiled. It's like when she's floating in the dream space. It's like, I'm not a prisoner. I'm taking the battle into the heart of the tower, and I'm going to beat this. She's already, she knows here what an opportunity this is. So no desperation from her at all. And that's why she tells all the Aes Sedai in the rebel camp, under no circumstances do you come rescue me. Just leave me here.
I'm exactly where I need to be.
I'm working. This could not have gone any better for us.
My honourable mention is not the Berylane first smack, but the fact that she gets to do it a second time on the other cheek.
Honorable mention is the second smack.
Awesome. All right. Well, to our listeners, send us your favorite moments. Send us your thoughts, your theories, corrections, or just say hi. You can do so using the social media links in the episode description or going to bloodandashespodcast.com, where you can leave a text or voice message or even buy a t-shirt or a hoodie. Please review or star the show on your favorite podcast app and then settle in with Knife of Dreams in preparation for next time on Blood and Ashes, where we will do chapters 1 through 5. That is when last sounds. Remember when we went through the times of the day?
Yeah.
We said last was 11. This is the chapter that they drew that conclusion from. Then chapter 2 is the Dark One's Touch. Then At the Gardens, which I will do this time just to keep things fair. A Deal, and then a chapter called Something, ellipses, Strange.
I've read all of these and don't remember what any of them are about. I'm sure Matt's involved in a lot of them. Egwene's there too, I believe.
Yeah.
There's some Egwene chapters, yeah.
All right, so then I guess for us all to find out what is strange, we will have to tune into episode 108. But until then, I will say to you all, sleep well and wake.
Adios.
Hasta mañana.